listening to the Liquid Shape Podcast with your host, Cody Perez.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Liquid Shape Podcast with Cody Perez.
Mariah, Taz, and Lorenzo.
Oh, you included the boys this time. I like it.
I did last time, too.
Yeah, you did. And they're right here, right by our side, of course, just being all rambunctious and loud and funny and crazy. I came home and they were wild. They came running down the stairs. I was actually worried that they were going to fall down.
They're excited to see their dad.
And then, of course, Lorenzo does his high-pitched screaming and what have you. But it's a sunny, beautiful Sunday in Oregon, 3-day weekend, a Memorial Day weekend. So how exciting is that?
I'm happy to have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, me too. It's been nice. And I guess we're going to be going into rain, so we better enjoy the beautiful weather we have today, because tomorrow I think we get back to Oregon showers, right?
Let's see.
What are we, the forecast now?
Yeah, so today's supposed to be 76. Yeah, then Monday, Tuesday, rainy. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, supposedly cloudy. And then the sun comes back next Sunday.
All right. Well, we're going to take advantage.
Next Tuesday's
weather.
Girl is white. I hate it.
You can get some color. Get some color on you.
Yes.
So how's your week been?
Ugh, I'm glad it's done.
I was going to say, you've had a hell of a week.
It wasn't fun.
It was a crazy week for you. Probably don't want to go into details about any of that because it's work related, but It was, yeah, I could tell it was getting on you, and I feel bad.
Yeah, it sucked. Not a fun thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been good.
Yeah. Yesterday, we got to spend time with the family. Shout out to my cousin Joel and Hazel. They had their housewarming party.
Yeah.
Beautiful house, great food, great times with the family. Got to see all the family. I love that. The food was really good. Honorable mentions, I loved the chicken legs. My Uncle Frank did amazing on those chicken legs. I was just like, whoa. Like, I kept going back for more. And then Carlos, of course, always on the pico de gallo. Man, I always know when it's like there's a couple pico de gallos there.
Yeah.
I always know when he makes his, because his has a different look to it and obviously a different taste that I love. And I keep asking him and bugging him. I'm like, dude, what do you do in yours that is the secret? And he won't tell me. So
I love your.
Someday he's going to tell me. I'm glad you do. They love you.
Yeah.
Your guacamole
so
was
so much fun. I know. They're like, the gringa can make.
Yeah, they were all shocked. The family was all this. I think that was a ranting and raving that everyone was talking about, was the guacamole. Who made the guacamole? I'm like,
well, that was kind of like one of the last barbecues at David and Carlos's when I did the Cajun mac.
Yep, that
Remember?
too.
Everyone's like, who made the mac?
See, you can cook when you want.
Yeah. I just don't. I've said I can cook. I don't like to. I don't like it.
Well, we're gonna fix
like
that. We're gonna fix that this year.
I just. Ugh.
It's gonna.
Or cooking's stressful to me. Baking's easy.
I love that you bake bread, and that's fucking
that I like doing.
Buns and bread and all sorts of
But cooking, like chicken and shit, meat, I hate cooking meat because I never know if I'm doing it right. Especially like chicken, like, is it cooked fully?
We have thermometers for that. 165.
My OCD can't, because I'm like...
Well, it's fine. You're lucky you have someone that loves to cook, so...
Well, you're lucky you have someone that likes to bake and clean.
That's true.
We both benefit each other.
Yes. So, yeah, other than that, it's been a good week.
Got some more plants. We had a fun little Home Depot run Friday night.
That we did. We took the boys for their little checkups.
Oh, yeah. They had their annual checkup. Everything seems good with them, so that's always a plus.
I had my annual checkup, and that was great as well. I didn't get my balls grabbed.
Man, that's disappointing.
I mean, why else do you set those up for?
I know. Like, I have to be fondled inside. Why can't you get fondled on the outside?
Well, you gave me so much crap all morning, and you just kept it in my brain. The whole time I'm like thinking, it's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be awkward, but whatever. Like, it is what it is. But the doctor didn't even mention it.
The awkwardness of like a pap smear where your face is in or your cooter's in the doctor's face and your feet are in the stirrups, and you're like, man, they're like, scoot down further, and you're like,
that is awkward.
Like, how close do you want this thing in your face?
I would hate that job, because imagine the nasty things
like,
that they
I'm paying
see.
you to have your face in my pussy? Like, what?
Whoa, Jesus,
Sorry.
My God. Come on. That's insane. But can you imagine the shit that the doctors see?
Mm-mm.
I would never want, that would ruin it for me. I don't even know if I would even be able to look at it the same.
Every-
That's what I'm saying. You might see some hot chicks, but you're gonna fucking see some nasty shit too that you don't want to see. So like, and you can't unsee some shit, dude.
Sure.
Like you can't.
But
I don't
they
think that the
also, like-
benefits outweigh.
Well, they also typically do labor and delivery, so it's like you're actually seeing the baby come.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I hold the pussy on the pedestal, like they say. I hold it as the holiest grail of all things. I love it. Like that's my favorite. That's my favorite meat in the world.
Oh my-
It's my favorite thing in the world. Like, why would like
He's a meat eater.
I would not want to like see the nasty and know the nasty and feel like I wouldn't just want. I just wouldn't. That would ruin it for me. It
Taz
would be.
doesn't like this conversation. He's
Oh.
giving me the eye,
Taz is upset because he's a virgin.
and his nuts are gone.
And his nuts are gone too. I'm sorry, bud. I'm telling the world about you. I know. So he's smiling now. He wants to go on a WLK. So
Yes,
we'll
he
be
does.
doing that probably. Look at that smile. Good
Happy
boy.
babies.
All right, well, let's get into it because this week we had a lot of responses, which I'm always thankful for on
Yes,
the
thank
question
you.
of the week. And since we're slacking, I'm going to have to fucking edit this too before we release it tonight at midnight. So we're here sipping coffee and we're going to go over these responses. I think I'll read the first one before I forget because John Wold sent his in by email. And so I don't want to forget. And we're reading off the phones this time because it's easier. So I'll go first. And John sent a long response. So I have to definitely read on this one. So John says, there are so many things society treats as normal that are actually pretty unhealthy. We normalize heavy drinking and vaping, letting kids stare at screens for hours every day. Some age groups are at 6 to 9 hours a day. That's not normal. That's damaging and allowing news media to constantly divide us so we end up hating our own neighbors over politics or religion. We also let companies market junk as healthy or sugar-free when it's anything but. But one of the biggest ones that drives me crazy is how hard we're pushing to erase traditional male roles. I know it's popular to say out loud. I know it's not popular to say out loud right now, and I'm not saying women can't do whatever they want. They absolutely should. But acting like men are disposable or that women can fully replace men in every traditionally male role is nonsense. Men are wired to be providers and protectors. When society tries to feminize men and push them into submissive roles instead, it creates a lot of confusion and pain. That's a big reason we're seeing so much male depression and suicide these days. Men are dying by suicide about 4 times more often than women. I support strong women in any role they earn, but I've seen it firsthand in trades. Companies will pick up a less qualified woman or minority over a better man just to check a diversity box and look good. I worked as a low voltage electrician and my company lost a government contract in Multnomah County purely because they didn't have a diverse enough workforce, even though we'd done work for them before. They hired us They hired us to set up the offices, but not to do the actual construction. It's backwards. Social media? Absolutely. We're obsessed with it, and it's especially toxic for kids and a lot of women. Everyone's curating this fake perfect life online. You'll see these beautiful family vacation photos, then later find out they were miserable and fighting the whole time. Constant comparison to fake lives is brutal on people's self-worth. Hustle culture. I participated in it myself because I want to provide better for my family and lift up the people around me. Some of us are natural leaders and builders. I don't think that's unhealthy. The problem is when hustle becomes the only thing in your life with no purpose behind it. Dating culture. I've been out of the dating game for almost 20 years, so I'm way out of the loop on that one. With what is dating culture? Working nonstop. I work long hours, 10 to 12, sometimes 14 when it's busy. Work gives us purpose and income, which is healthy. But if you're grinding just to grind and you're miserable, that's when it becomes toxic. If you hate what you do, start carving out time to figure out what would actually fulfill you while you're still paying the bills. When you love what you do, it stops feeling like work. Constant comparison. It depends. Comparing yourself to fake highlight reels on social media is super unhealthy. But if you're trying to grow and you look at how successful friends or family do things, that kind of comparison can actually help you improve and course correct. I agree with all of the things here that John said. I love it. I mean, I think we've talked about how men are being demasculated and pushed into these, like he said, like to feel feminized and depression and suicide rates and all that stuff. That's a serious thing, man. Like that's a sad thing. And then what's funny and crazy is that you hear all these women complain about how there's no real men anymore. But on the same time, those same women will like constantly be like, well, I could do it myself, and blah 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 blah. It's great to be
It's because we have to, because if we rely on someone, it gets shoved in our face. And I'm not saying you, but just in general, that's one reason I've become so independent in my life, is because anytime I've asked a man, hey, I need help with this, whether father figure, boyfriend, husband, it was fucking thrown in my face and used against me to manipulate me and abuse me. Like, no, I'm going to do it myself then. I'm not going to ask for help, because every time I do, I get made to feel like I'm an inch big and I'm a piece of shit. So no, I'm not asking for help.
Well, I mean, yeah, then you can't take what you from an old relationship and bring it into a new one, though. That's the reality of it. Like, if I did that, you know what? I would be hating women like a motherfucker if I did that. So every time you get with someone new or you're dating someone, it's a reset. You have to reset. Bring in the knowledge of what you have and the experience, but you can't. I mean, you just can't let those old things. Am I anything like your ex in any way?
Yeah.
No, be honest.
But I'm still not going to ask you for help. That's just me. I'm not. If I can do something, I'm going to do it. If I can't do it, then I'll ask for help for sure. But I'm not going to just be like, hey, can you do this? No,
I think I push you a lot too, though, to do.
What do you mean?
There's times that I have to motivate you and I have to keep pushing.
Because I'm tired. Because you wake up and go. On my days off, I'm like, I just want to chill for a little bit. Like, I drive, I do HR. I'm never off at work. I don't get a break at work because it's always ping, 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 ping. Mariah, we need to fire this person. We need to do this. I need discipline here. What's this? Oh, we have an investigation here. And I'm like, fuck, dude.
That's perfect for someone with ADHD, though.
No, I hate it. Like, my anxiety's just through the roof lately. And I'm like, I just want to chill.
Yeah. But then you get bored if you do. And then it's
I don't get bored.
You don't get bored chilling?
I
call more, though.
Because we haven't had a vacation in a long time, so I haven't been able to just, like, disconnect fully, like, being in another country, like Mexico or something on a beach. No one's fucking teamsing me while I'm in Mexico.
That's true.
Because I ain't going to look at it.
That's true. So I think we're overdue for a relaxing vacation. Maybe we'll do that this September, October. I don't know, maybe.
I'd like to go back to
We'll
Cabo.
see. I'm going to be hitting 3 years sober in October or September, so.
Oh, yeah, we also talked about going to San Diego, too, so that'd be cool.
Yeah. Let's get away. Yeah. Anything would be good. But I agree that, yeah, it's good to have independence and know that. But then at the same time, when you're with someone, split the duties up. Obviously, you can show that you can do it yourself. Like me, for example, like one mistake I made with the relationship was I let the other person control the finances, control the cooking, control this and that. And I learned after I got a relationship that I'm like, okay, I need to be in control of this now, or I need to be better, like know what's going on so I can see like where's the spending happening, where do you pay it, why is it like this, analyze the bills, learn to cook, obviously, that kind of stuff. So I think that your past will shape you to be what you are.
I will never share finances ever, always separate.
I mean, I'm cool with that. I've always been like that too. So
I don't care what you do with your money. That's your thing. Don't worry about mine because that's my thing.
Boats and hoes.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, good responses here from John. I agree pretty much with every single one of them. Dating culture, I would say, John, I was in it's fucked up now. So I will say that when I was single and I was on the dating apps and all that shit, it's like the women literally they want you to pay for it, even like their date, like to go out. I get going out with someone and paying for the food or the drinks or whatever the hell. But like a lot of these girls on those apps are literally saying, well, no, you're going to pay for my time. If I'm going to talk to you on the phone, it's like at this point, you're a prostitute.
I'm like,
if I'm going to meet up with you, you're a prostitute at that point. If you're charging by the hour or charging by that kind of shit. And that's the kind of stuff they're saying. Well, you have to buy my Snap. Really? Buy your Snap? Like, what the fuck? Like, no, that's not going to happen. Like that kind of shit. So it's like the contact different, like women are prostituting themselves on these apps, and it's just trash. It's fucking trash. And then
guys are weird too, though, on it.
You wonder why men are weird, though, is because a lot of this shit too. Like it goes back and forth. Yeah, there's a lot of shitty men. There's a lot of shitty women. So it goes both ways. So I think that like women do something that causes a man to react a certain way, and then now he feels like he has to act like that, and then he takes it out on other women, and then those women take it out on other men, and it's like it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's a never ending cycle. So dating culture, I would not want to be out there. I think if I was ever to be single again, I would just stay single, and I'd be okay with my dogs. And
I say this all the time. If you and I ever, God forbid, ever break up or whatever, I'm fucking done.
Yeah,
I don't want to be with anyone.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I can't imagine nowadays doing it because it's like I
don't have effort. I don't have the energy for another relationship.
Me neither.
No,
I would probably just be really, really toxic and just be like I would be over the top toxic. I think I would thrive on the drama, I think. Just ruining other people's lives. That's just me, man. That's what I do. All right. So we'll move on to Kaz, quit licking the table. We'll move on to the responses on Facebook. So first one comes in from Jeffrey Gunn, and he says, God and organized religion. You might as well wish on a shooting star. There's good and bad people in the ranks. Most I would call hollow Christians, the ones that go to church but don't understand or care about the message. They're there for image. Overall, I think it's a fear-mongering scam. And that's a fair assessment. I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, I wouldn't even just say
fake Christian.
I wouldn't even just say though Christian. There's a lot of fake religious beliefs in general, and people are putting on this image just because that's how they want to be viewed, but they're like hypocritical to what they're doing. I am a believer myself, and I encourage people to find what works for them, whether that's religion or not, or whatever it is that you believe in, and stick to that. Have some morals and some standards that you live by, and that values that you that you'll live your life by, that make you a better person, and that hopefully when you leave this earth, you leave it a better place than when you first came into it. But yeah, there is a lot of organized religions out there that people are killing for their God, or people are doing this or that, and it's just like, I don't agree with anything of that.
They're just fake. They do the whole church thing and post all the religious stuff or whatever, but they're not.
They give a bad name for people, but
following the Bible and like the word.
They give a bad name for the religion, whatever religion that is. I'm not going to throw one under the bus over the other. But there's people are always going to weaponize things. People will find something and turn it into a good thing and turn it into a bad thing, and it's unfortunate. I try not to hold the religion or whatever whatever the organization is. If it's trying to do something good, I don't try not to hold them for one or two shitty people or masses in some cases. All right, Lauren Johnson says alcohol and excess drinking. Working nonstop and companies making employees feel guilty for using their benefits or having to approve time off when employees have available time accrued.
I agree.
That was going to be mine. As alcohol and excess drinking for 100% sure. And I'll go more into it once we go into my portion of it, because I'm going to definitely talk about that. That's one of my responses for this.
But definitely the working, though. I mean, so many companies, it's like you have the time off, but you try to get it off, and it's like you're asking for like God to come back or something, or Jesus to come back.
Or they don't allow you to.
When I was at
the call center, they only allowed like 1.5 people out of 200. Like, why?
Wow.
That is insane.
Like coverage.
Yeah. Figure it out, man. That's your responsibility. That's not mine. I work for your company. It's your job to figure it out. Not mine. Not my responsibility. I think it's bullshit.
Benefit and a right employees to be able to take their PTO.
And I'm sorry, I didn't read the question of the week out loud here, so I'll just read it before we continue on. So the question of the week this week was, what's something society normalizes that you think is unhealthy? And then follow-ups were like social media, hustle culture, dating culture, working nonstop, constant comparison, whatever. Anything you want to say. So next one comes in from Jared Dimes, and he says, caring what others think. More than anything now is social media. Like, that's why these people that put on the facades, man. Like the happy family, matching pajamas, that kind of shit. Like
that, or influencers, like fitness ones and stuff. It's like, no, bitch, you're having surgery. Your little 30-day workout plan. You do not look like that from doing a little ab exercise thing, each different variations of it for 30 days to look like that. They're
selling products.
No, bitch, you legit are on a GLP-1, which I've been on one for 3 years. I highly recommend it. But I'm just meaning don't lie.
Yeah.
But that's all it is. It's all, you can't believe anything you see. It's all fake to sell you shit.
Yeah, I've seen that far too much, where people are selling something that, clearly they did something else, but they're getting paid to say this. And it's like, dude.
Or products. It's like, bitch, you're not using that product.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like an already big famous person like Rihanna or something. I know she wouldn't because she has her own makeup line. But it's like when you see these famous celebrities and they're like, Revlon. I'm like, you are not wearing fucking Revlon. How many millions do you have? You can afford the bougie shit. You're not buying drugstore stuff.
Yeah, you're being paid to say that. And it's fake, and it's not authentic. The reason why I made such a horrible salesman is because the products that I was trying to push at one point, that I was selling when I was doing like the door-to-door sales and all that kind of shit, was all stuff I knew was shit. I did it for a month, and I was like, you know what? This is not the job for me. If I'm not convinced, I can't lie. I have to be honest about what I'm selling. I have to be convinced myself. And if I'm not convinced, I'm not going to sell that. Because I'm not going to be a good salesman. I feel fake. So caring what others think, I think, is a huge thing right now.
It's huge.
And I don't think that's going to change, unfortunately.
It's only going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse, yeah. So agree with that. Kimberly Wilhelm says, not disciplining your kids, also not teaching them any kind of manners, expected to be a slave to your job. Thankfully, I work for a company that lets employees put their families first.
Yes.
Disciplining your kids. Yes.
Dude.
God damn it. Yesterday we got to the house and out by our yard, like by the sidewalk.
So we're a corner lot in our little townhome subdivision bullshit.
And we get home from the family gathering and there's fucking like juice box type of crap and wrapping and
plastic bottles, like Gatorade bottles, wrappers, a Slim Jim wrapper.
And we know that the fucking kids around here that like they all gather together and they just make a fucking mess, dude. It drives me fucking insane. It makes me really angry. It's like,
and
if I did that, I'd get my
I would have got my ass beat. And these kids, like the parents, I'm like, where the fuck are the parents? These kids, I swear to God, cannot be older than 7. And they're just out here and like, it's a busy street and people like are speeding, like all these little Fast and Furious cars of the people that live in the back. I'm like, and these kids have like the little motorized, like wannabe dirt bike things. And they're just up and down the street, almost getting hit and stuff. I'm like, where the fuck are the parents?
The other day I was driving down and I drive extra slow here because I know there is kids, but this fucking kid, like he's on one of those little motorized bike things and he sees me. He's on the other side of the street, but he purposely sees me. So he tries to beat me by like running right in front of my car to get across to the other side. When he clearly see me going, I'm like, if I was that kid, my parents would have kicked my fucking ass. My dad, one time, I remember he spanked the shit out of me when I almost tried to run across the street. And I was on a sidewalk, like on the crosswalk that I was going to run across.
Yeah.
But he grabbed me real quick because he saw that I was trying to get ready to go. And he grabbed me and he spanked the shit out of me. He's like, don't you ever run across the street without me and without looking both ways. And after that, I remembered that shit. So the parents around here definitely need to do a better job. Their fucking kids are playing around like the nice cars around here and just being destructive with their shit. Like since we're the corner lot, we have these fucking kids that run across my patio, like my front yard patio by our doorway. They literally use our porch to run across to go to the neighbor's house. That's fucking ridiculous, unacceptable. Like if that kid falls down, I could potentially be sued for that. Like there's concrete there and it's a high little patio thing. And like,
I don't know. I put up no trespassing signs everywhere. So they're trespassing. So hopefully we could fight them. Cause I have one right in the window next to the door and I have one on our gate.
Yeah. All right. Brooke Barnhurst says racism. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think people are getting away with a lot of shit as far as what they're saying. They're getting ballsy and they think that they can get away with it without the repercussions, man. Someone's going to pop you in the fucking mouth if you're running your fucking mouth. I understand jokes. Jokes are one thing.
Yeah.
But when you're actually being a flat out fucking racist piece of shit, you're going to get fucking popped.
And you should.
Yeah. You deserve it. Tabitha Knight says, excessive consumerism and glorifying living beyond your means, buying shit you don't need, beauty standards, constantly having a computer in our hand, pocket, and expectation of being accessible 24/7.
Yeah.
God, I agree with every one of those things.
Yeah, glorifying living beyond your means. So true. I'm like, I keep seeing all these people. And granted, I know, like, just speaking of like housing, like I know like the housing market is just wild. But people like buying these houses and having like $3, like $4, $5, $6, $7,000 a month house payments. What happens if you lose your job?
You're fucked.
And that's the way we're going. I'm like massive layoffs.
And how much house do you need?
And how much house do you need?
Like, yeah,
it's I don't know. And I'm like, I get it. The housing shit sucks. So things are super inflated, but then it's like double, like they're just, I don't know. I'm like,
you got to be smart about it. If you want to live luxurious, you got to make some sacrifices and and I'm not saying like settle, but definitely you have to be smart about it. Like you want to travel and all that kind of shit. Guess what? Your house probably does it have enough room for you and your family? Yeah. Are you in a safe area? Are you comfortable there? Okay, great. You don't need to have all these extra fucking rooms and this and that. If you want to be able to travel, you want to have the nice cars, you want to have all this fancy fucking expensive clothes, that kind of shit. Like you need to be smart about it.
The car stuff cracks me up too, especially like if people are living in apartments and they have like the Mercedes or the Range Rover, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, get a house. Like,
I'm embarrassed for people that are
smaller,
like
like a different, like a lower class vehicle. I'm like, what are we doing?
I don't give a fuck what I'm driving nowadays anymore. I got 2 cars.
That's the whole thing. I'm like, and I've worked in the the auto industry. It's like you lose so much money on cars. Why are you out there? I mean, if you can afford it and all that stuff, good for you, man. If it makes you feel good, I get that. But realistically, you lose so much money on cars. So much money. You'll never get back what you've put into it.
There was a point in time when I was literally paying $750 for my car payment, and then another, what was it? I think it was like another $700, $600 for insurance a month.
Yeah.
Dude, like, why?
Why?
When I was bartending, because I was a fucking idiot with my money. I was 21 years old. Like, and I had the car that I wanted, and it was just stupid and reckless. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine having debt like that. Like, the only debt I have right now literally is my HELOC and my house, which is nothing. Like, that to me, that's a basic thing, but I'm going to be paying it off early. I'm already starting to make early payments and whatnot, extra payments each month. So I'm going to pay it off way before and save myself a shit ton of money. But I can't imagine people that get themselves in credit card debt and just buy unnecessary shit. Like, buy what you need to get by. If you can't afford to pay it off by the end of the month, why are you letting it rack up?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. People are superficial and have to fucking everything. Shopping's especially online shopping, I think, is a very addictive thing.
It is.
It's very easy to hit that fucking the Apple button that says fucking pay. So
yeah.
Matthew Grodzinski says, weird how alcohol is super popular even when it destroys so much, and definitely that double standard with other substances.
Absolutely.
I agree. But weed is just as bad, I think.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says and tries to justify. I know way too many potheads that they cannot survive without weed. They get temperamental. Yeah, it is. If you have to do everything high, if you have to always constantly get high or get drunk, or you can't do anything without doing like some sort of substance, you have a problem.
And I feel like, and again, no offense to anybody who does, but it's like I almost feel like pot smokers are worse than cigarette smokers, because like traveling with them and stuff, they have to pull over, because if you're especially in your vehicle driving, then it's like you have to pull over like every 20 minutes or whatever it is so they can take a hit. And I'm like, geez, guys.
Yeah, it's a weakness, total weakness to me.
I'm like, that controls you. Anything that controls you is an addiction.
It's not good.
For me, coffee, energy drinks. Like, I mean, that's I know that's my vice. That's my addiction, and I can admit it. But it's just, it's funny with like pot smokers. They're so, it's not an addiction, it's natural. Doesn't mean it's not an addiction.
Yeah.
And how do you know it's natural? We don't know what they're putting in all this shit.
Porn's an addiction.
The government's involved now. Like, they don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. There's lots of, anything can be an addiction. Yes. Overeating can be an addiction.
Yeah,
like
is.
Working out, like that kind of, there's a lot of just, here's the thing. I say this
gambling,
I always tell people, I'm like, there is a lot more people that have alcoholic and drug issues that don't recognize it.
Yep.
They always want to compare it to the worst case scenarios of what they've seen.
Yeah.
But like I've always said, okay, well, compare yourself to someone that doesn't use, and how do you look on paper when you compare yourself to that? Because that's where you really stand. If someone that doesn't use or doesn't partake in that looks at you, they're going to say, yeah, you got an issue, dude. You have problems.
Yeah.
And this is coming from someone that used to over drink and over consume everything, like as far as the drugs and alcohol. So I can speak because I have experience on it. I'm not just speaking out of fucking bullshit.
Out of your butthole.
The next one is from Kaylin Benson. And she says, toxic positivity. I 100% agree with that. There's a lot of that bullshit too that makes people feel uncomfortable, because it's like, dude, not everything is sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And you got to be honest. If something's going on and you're not feeling well, like putting on a fake smile and shit, like, how do I know what you're telling me is true? How do I know that what you're feeling is authentic and you're not just trying to be sunshine and rainbows and all that shit?
Everything's just fake.
Yeah. Keith Stadley says, do you have a website page for your podcast at all yet? Sorry.
Keith, that's cute.
Keith, I do. We're pretty much everywhere. You can find us on Spotify's the one that I push a lot, but I mean, we're literally on everything. Apple Music. We're on all the platforms that provide podcasts. Taz, get comfortable, buddy. Anyways, next one is from John Dount. He says, I might catch shit, but fuck it. People believing in the delusional thoughts of what gender you think you are when biology proves different. I'm okay with you portraying whatever gender you want, but I don't have to believe in your delusion. Well, this is a hot topic, and I'm just going to be blunt about how I think and feel about this. But I'm going to start off by saying this, that I 100% believe in and encourage everyone to do what makes them happy.
Yep.
Be yourself. Do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting anybody. But with that comes something to keep in mind, that not everyone is going to see things the way that you do. No matter how much you believe in your heart that you're this or that, or that you want to live your life this way, do it. Fine. But that does not mean that other people have to do that or have to believe in that or have to be on board with it or agree with you. There's going to be people that disagree with you with regardless. That comes with anything. That could be with sex. That could be with your sexual preference. That could be with your religion. That could be with your beliefs and your morals. It can be with what you eat, how you eat. Like, it could be with anything.
Yeah.
With anything. There's always going to be people out there that don't agree with you or don't want see eye to eye with you. You have to be okay with that.
You have to be okay with that. And that's what makes being a human great. We can all be respectful and disagree tastefully.
Yes.
It doesn't have to turn into this hate thing and I don't like you, I hate you, we can't be friends or family or XYZ. Fucking stop.
Or if I don't believe in what you believe in, it's no different than religion or anything else. Doesn't mean that we can't be friends or find common ground. I have friends of all backgrounds. I have friends of all different races and genders and fucking sexual preferences and all that. And I encourage them. I 100% encourage them to be themselves and do what makes them happy, as long as it's not affecting other people in a bad way and not affecting me, and you're not preaching at me. Like,
that's just it. Preaching. It's don't shove it down my throat. You do you, and that's fine. Like, I want you to be happy and do your thing, but don't force me into it too. Maybe I don't agree with it.
Yes.
Or I'm not on board. Doesn't mean I'm going to treat you any different. It's just stop shoving it at me. Like, you do you, because I'm going to do me. We can still be friends, all that stuff, but don't make me be forceful and then me to look like the odd man out because I'm not necessarily on board with what you're doing. Again, you do you, but why am I the bad guy?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything hateful. I don't necessarily agree with that, but you do you.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say is just because someone doesn't see eye to eye with you doesn't mean they're the enemy or the bad guy or they're a bigot or this or that.
Yeah.
I don't have to agree with you, but I can still treat you like a good human, like a good human should treat another good human, because I have respect for you and I accept you for who you are and how you are and you being yourself and being authentic. But just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I'm against you. Like I said, we don't have to see eye to eye. I'm not out there giving hate speeches on this or hating you or not accepting you in my house, or I wouldn't extend a hand out to help you out because you believe a certain way or because you think a certain way. No, that's not the case. If you're a good person, I'm going to help you out if I can.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that I'm the enemy if I don't see eye to eye with you with what you choose to or how you choose to live.
Yep.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't give a fuck what you do.
Yeah.
You be what you want.
Yeah.
But also, like I said, keep in mind, no matter what you do in this world, there's going to be people that don't agree with you, and you have to accept that fucking fact. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. So those are my thoughts on that. The next one is from Rabble Row J, and Rabble says, rage bait. You going on that?
You know who comes to mind with rage bait?
Who?
Ronnie Radke.
Ronnie Radke, the king of trolls, and I fucking love Ronnie Radke, man. Like, I preach the word of Ronnie every fucking chance I get to people, because there's a lot of haters, even my own friends that are haters of Ronnie Radke. I'm like, dude, you can hate on him all you fucking want. That motherfucker is talented as shit. He can rap, he can sing, he can scream, he's a great performer, man. He's an entertainer, and any chance that I get to see Ronnie Radke live, I will see him. Great music. He's I love that he speaks his mind. I don't always agree with everything he says, but doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't care. I love the fact that he's himself authentically, and he's fucking hilarious. So if you guys don't like Ronnie Radke, fuck you.
No, I feel like it was like last year? Like he was coming up on my TikTok like all the time, and I mean, I think he's funny, and yes, I don't always agree with everything he says, but after a while, it was like there was just so much, because I don't know what was happening. Was it last year or whatever? It was like he was just constantly posting and talking shit to somebody, and I was like, okay, at some point, it's like, okay, it's a little much.
There's one where he's going off on this wannabe wrestler dude that was talking shit about him. I kept playing that video over and over. I was laughing my ass off, because that guy, the guy that was talking trash about Ronnie, was a character in himself. Like, I was watching his videos. That made me watch his videos, because he's a funny motherfucker too. I don't agree what he says and shit like that, but he was also saying, he had some funny videos where I'm just like, this guy is like living in another world, man.
Sure. Yeah, it's funny.
Next one comes in from Elizabeth Craig, and she says, number 1, AI. Number 2, gentle parenting. Number 3, being vegan or vegetarian equals healthy.
Yeah.
I agree with all of these things, man. Like, the AI is getting really crazy, because some of it's like hard to detect. Some of it's very obvious, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of it is. But some of it's really hard.
Better and better, and it's scary.
Scary, because pretty soon there's going to be a video of you out there that someone can make.
Oh, for sure.
Of you saying or doing something that you didn't do.
You did off that fucking picture of us in Cabo was the only thing that was off was the voice, but it was me it was me sitting at a table at one of the restaurants showing my little dessert or whatever, and AI made me actually get up and like do a spin and like talk and stuff, but it was me minus the voice. I was like, at what point do you say I don't consent? Like,
yeah. I mean, at
because
some
anybody
point,
could do it.
yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. I think when you get on these apps like Facebook, you're letting them use your photo. Your photos are public,
Yeah.
like now.
'Cause I think you have to agree to it, don't you?
There's when you sign up for social media, you're on these fucking things that require you to consent to like it's fair use.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. The gentle parenting, I 100% agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
That is some bullshit because you're raising a bunch of pussies that are going to be entitled little shits later on, and people like me are going to eat them alive when they get a reality check, because that will fucking happen. I promise you that.
I mean, this may be not a popular thing to say, but it is what it is. You gotta instill some fucking fear in your child, otherwise they're gonna run amok.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to like. Well, to me, there's a difference between discipline and beating the shit out of your child, right? But my mom, like, she fucking had me, like, trained. It was like she could give me the look and go, Mariah Lynn, and the fucking death stare. And I'd be like, fuck. Like, I think my mom, like, swatted my butt once, and that scared the shit out of me. And I was like, fuck. And I'll say that to this day. I love my mom. She's, like, my best friend, the woman I love. But my God, I've seen that bitch scared, and hell fucking no. She's the only person in this world I'm scared of.
Yeah. Yep. I hear that. So the person I was scared of was my dad. My dad, I just had to hear his voice, and that was more than enough.
Yeah.
And I did get my ass whipped, and I'm okay with saying that, but it wasn't like abuse.
Yeah.
It was, hey, I'm going to correct this and you're going to fix it. And guess what? I learned.
Yeah.
And we aren't parents. I mean, we got the fur babes, but
so take it for what it is.
Take it for what it is. But I think
that's
too
just
many
my
people
thoughts.
have their kids thinking that they're God's gift to the earth. And maybe they are to you in your world, but you're not doing them any favors when they get out to the real world and they get a reality check that the world doesn't revolve around them. So,
well, it's like, have you seen the TikTok videos where it shows it'll be a segment of different parents and their kids, and they're doing the gentle parenting, trying to tell their kid to stop. Like, no, Kate, Connor, stop. Connor, stop.
Connor. It's always a Connor.
I told you to stop. Connor, I said fucking stop. And that's when he stops, is when he's screamed at. So I think again, whatever, but you got to instill that fear. I mean, and it's not, hopefully I'm not meaning like traumatize your child, but I mean, it's sometimes like that. Like, I know dogs are different, but sometimes it's like the same thing with the dogs. It's like, I'll be like, okay, snapping my finger, doing all the stuff we've trained. They're not listening. I have to be like, Taz?
Yeah, he's already looking right now.
And then he stops and he goes and does what I just told him to do prior. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. The third thing here she said was being vegan or vegetarian equals healthy.
Yeah.
To each their own. You know what? If that works for you, that's great. But when people start shoving it and getting ugly about it, I don't like that, obviously.
Yeah. But then a lot of the food too, like, unless you're just really doing your own food and stuff like that. Soy, that's not good for you.
No, there's a lot of bad stuff.
That Beyond Meat, that stuff's not good for you.
Yeah.
But it's vegan or vegetarian or whatever. But it's like, and then like the dairy stuff.
Here's the problem is that people just automatically see that it's plant-based. Okay, what's the environment these plants are being like?
I mean, is this like Bill Gates fucking meat stuff? No fucking thank you.
Yeah, no thanks. So like I said, teach their own. If that's how you live, that's great.
Yeah, you do.
Just don't get aggressive with other people and force you down people's throats and expect them to do what you do.
It's like the joke. It's like, how do you know that someone's a vegan? They tell you about it.
Yeah. For sure. Steve Helmer says, consuming a fifth of Jack Daniels in one night. Number one answer. Yeah, I mean, alcohol is one of those things. Again, it's going to be a common thing. I think that's gets brought up on this. Alcohol is so fucking. It's so normalized anymore. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And
I mean, it's on TV. It's in the movies. I mean, it's like it's kind of like in the 80s, 90s when everybody smoked.
Well, they glamorize it by I'm like living this luxurious lifestyle with this badass car, and I got chicks all over me, and look at my clothes, and I'm drinking. Jack Daniels, for example.
Or it's like I had a bad day. I'm having some wine because it was a bad day, and it's like, well, that's how issues.
Every day and every reason is a
Using
reason
it
to
as
drink
a crutch.
anymore. It's like to celebrate a promotion, to celebrate you graduating from this, or there's always going to be, for an alcoholic or a drug addict, a reason to celebrate or justify your use.
It was a bad day. I gotta relax. That's always a big one that you see, like. Here's this.
That's always funny. They use it as an excuse to do it when something bad happens, but they use it as an excuse also when to celebrate something
good.
So it's like, well, okay, which one is it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The next one is from David Garrett Wood, and he says drinking soda. Oh yeah. I'm so glad I quit drinking soda. Like, it's been over a year and some months now, and I feel amazing. I will never, ever go back to drinking soda again. I just can't. I will not.
I think it's because I grew up on soda. And
I did too,
drank
though.
so much, and like in my 20s, I drink like late teens, early 20s, drink so much Diet Pepsi. Like when I drink it now, it just makes me feel weird. Like whether it's the regular or diet. But don't get me wrong, every once in a while, I do love me a fucking fridge cigarette, a Diet Coke.
Can we just be honest here, though? Like, people that drink diet soda, whether that be Coke or Pepsi or whatever other diet you drink, you think you're doing yourself some good. Let me challenge you by saying this. You think you're doing something healthy and blah, 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 blah. It's just a Diet Coke. Go do some research on what those chemicals are that are on that can.
Yeah.
They're all cancer-causing chemicals. You might as well just drink the full fucking thing. Like, seriously. Doing this half-ass, sugar-free shit, go look at what those chemicals are. Google them. Yep. It's not me just preaching some fucking shit to you. Go Google what these chemicals are in this sugar-free shit and tell me that it's healthy.
No, it's not.
It's not at all. It's actually worse. It's worse. Teach their own, though. Curious Emberborn says, prideful ignorance in the superiority of one's opinion.
Yeah.
I think I'm guilty of that myself. I'll be honest. Like, I think
we all are.
Yeah.
But there are some people that just really are just in it. It's like, wow.
If I'm wrong about something, though, here's the thing. Here's how I get my points back is that when I'm wrong about something, or if I'm proven to be like, oh, you're a dumbass for saying that or whatever, I will admit to it. I have no problem. Yeah. If I don't know something, I would much rather say I don't know than to tell somebody like all this, feed them a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. I will not do that.
Yeah.
So if I say it, I truly do believe it, or I did some research on it, or I have some experience in it. But if I don't have any experience in it, even like when I have guests on here, when they're talking about something, if I don't know shit about it, I just I sit back and I listen and I try to understand what they're saying and try to keep up with it and maybe do some research myself. But if I don't speak, and I think there's a big difference in that. Some people just speak out of, well, I want to know all the answers. I want to have all the answers. I want to be this and that. And that's really not.
I'm like you, though. It's like, I'm not going to sit there and go rant and rave on something if I don't really know what I'm talking about.
I got to save face.
That's why, one of the reasons I don't go into like politics or talk about it much, because I'm like, I really don't honestly know that much about it, so I don't feel like I'm knowledgeable enough to really go head to head with people or anything. Not that I want to anyway, because it's politics and it's stupid.
I like to go head to head with everyone about it, as far as like talking shit to the left side and the right side, because they're both fucking idiots.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, they're pushing us against each other. Fuck the government, both sides. Let's just come together. They can't kill all of us, can they? Probably. But that's what they want. They want us divided. And it's like, once everybody sees that and we come together, I think we could be really powerful.
Yep. Speaking of, Jeff Buds says, hate speech. And yes, there is a lot of that. Yeah. There's a lot of that shit. And it's unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I start seeing something like someone going off of something I just don't like or whatever now anymore, I'm just choosing the option to not interested.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to see it anymore. And it's like, I don't need to get in a battle with somebody about something that.
And that's how it should be. You don't have to sit there and be
fed this crap that like
a keyboard warrior. Just if you don't like something,
I do like being a troll sometimes, though. That's fun. There's a difference in that, though. I think like if I'm bored and I'm looking to troll and just get some things lit up, I will go say some shit and then what's funny is when I don't say anything back, I just make a little comment, and then you just see that the chat completely blows up or that conversation, and I don't ever come back to it. So those people are like speaking to dead air because I'm not even going back and reading it. So that's my big fuck you to people that do that or that are in there. Yeah. The next one comes in from Carrie Nyes, and she says, consumerism in general, fast fashion sites, Amazon, waiting in line for 6 hours for Pokemon cards, having to have the newest color Stanley Cup, getting a new phone the instant it comes out. The list goes on. It's so unnecessary and wasteful.
Oh my God, Carrie, so true. The newest one, I just, because I work from home, luckily, on Thursdays and Fridays, so I just have YouTube running, like podcasts and stuff. And there was one that I was watching where the new fad thing right now is these like squishy dumpling things, and people are standing in line for see if they get because like it's supposed to be this big thing if you get the glitter one. And it's just, the girl that put this video together that I follow, I believe her name's Jamie French. She's hilarious. But she did all these videos that she found on like TikTok of families and like how kids, like one kid will get the sparkly one, which is the one you want. You got the diamond in the rough, like you're the cool one versus all the other colors. And so it's like the two kids will have it together. They'll open it. One will have it. The other one's crying and starting to fight with the other one because they want the glittery one. And it's just this little squishy, like stress ball dumpling. And then I guess it smells just toxic chemical and it does nothing. It doesn't even light up. It does nothing. And I'm like, fucking Jesus.
If it lit up, would you buy it?
No.
What if it had bedazzles?
Well, they have the glitter one. That's the one that you want, supposedly. Or like, I know I have friends that are into it, but like the Labubus and stuff. And it's kind of like, what was the creepy fucking thing in the 90s? The thing that talked.
The trolls?
Not the trolls, but remember the thing that was weird?
Tickle Me Elmo?
No, the little.
That was one.
Oh God, what was it? It had the weird eyes, and people would say even though they'd have it turned off, like in the middle of the night, it would make weird noises.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't
I
remember.
can't remember what they're called, but those were big.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Yeah, it's just like the Tamagotchis and stuff too. Like it's all just.
It makes me wonder, like, how do they get these things to get like people so crazy about them? Like, what is it?
Social media. It's because they get kids. Like kids. I mean, that's a big thing too. Kids watch kids on YouTube.
Yeah,
open
that's
toys,
true.
play with toys. You've seen it. They'll watch them play video games, and it's like. This is so weird to me.
I need to get with my nephew Xander and have him start promoting American Overdose or
There you
something.
go.
Build some hype around our gear and shit.
Well, he's probably, I mean, because he's growing like a weed. He has the outfit, but I don't know if he fits into it anymore. 'Cause that was a couple.
I'm here over here thinking like a goddamn salesman over here.
But I mean, that's a lot of what it is too, especially like with the kids stuff. But adults are doing it too. They're standing in line because they want to do it too, and then then they open it and they're so like when they don't have the glitter one.
It's ridiculous.
I'm like,
I always find it's funny.
On something that does nothing, and it's just a toxic ball of plastic.
Grown-ass women trying to be like their younger kids is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, I see that a lot,
It's
too.
kind of like Mean Girls when the mom's trying to be like...
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
No.
Next one comes in from Lisa Clark. I was going to say alcohol as well, especially at the concerts. It seems like there is so much push for alcohol with booths, banners, etc. Yeah, that's 100% true.
And then the prices too at the concerts.
That makes me so dumb. I'm so glad I don't drink because I remember there'd be like $19 for a fucking tall boy of Coors Light.
Yeah. Now I kind of like, I think just seeing the prices and just how that stuff's just so overdone. I kind of get why some people just smoke instead. But I mean, you know.
Why not just go to the concert and enjoy it sober? What the fuck's wrong with that?
That's true.
Like if you can't do that, why are you even there? You're not that big of a fan of the music if you can't do that. And this is coming from somebody that used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm not fucking being a hypocrite, and I'm not talking out of my ass. I'm speaking from experience. Like
I like going to concerts sober,
remembering it.
I remember it, and then I'm not being drunk and being silly and doing something stupid. Like
you can still be silly and crazy and fun, but do it sober, and you don't look like an idiot.
Yeah.
All right, next one comes in from Stevie Tice, and she says, all the above. It's all about creating separation and fear and control. And then that leads to addiction, couples with trauma, politics, religion. Yes, I believe in God and Jesus, but why do we need a third party like religions groups to get to God? Schools, overworked, all of it is to create separation from ourselves. Our energy within ourselves and to create separation from each other. How many wars have been fought over simple things we need like food, healthcare, power, and homes? Every single one. And to be segregated to towns when there is so much land and water that can be used as homes to fulfill our basic needs, that all leaves us as targets for genocide.
Yeah.
100% agreed with all of this. And as she mentioned here, like there's a lot of things. It's crazy to me that there's a lot of things that are basic human needs to survive that we are like over price gouging with things like, and for what? Like we're all here. We all require the same things to survive. Some of us obviously are on medical devices or medication specific that you need to survive and whatnot. But we all need water. We all need food. We need land and shelter.
It's just control.
Yeah, it is. And it makes me sick to my stomach just thinking of how some people can just sit back knowing that they're price gouging and bombing other countries for their resources when we have resources here. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's just wild. Yeah. Control.
James Browning says that it's okay to hate someone for a difference of opinion. The fact you have to almost work 60 hours a week to make it grinding. The dumbest shit ever. You get zero time to enjoy your life while making the ones you work for rich. Just about any type of social media culture. That shit needs to go. There is so much we need to not accept as a culture, as a species, and society. James, I 100% agree with you on all that. I don't think we should be working. I don't even think we should be working 40 hours a week.
No.
I mean, I'm a hypocrite for this because I do work around the clock, but that's because I'm trying to pay off the shit that, like, if I don't do it, it's going to happen. But why do we spend so much of our lives having to work because of these fucking greedy corporations that are charging all this fucking crazy shit, like overpriced foods and gas and all that? Like, and I get it. It's a lot more complex than just bitching about current administrations or former ones or this or that. But it all comes down to one thing, and it's greed. Fucking greed and corruption. So agreed with James on that. Jody McMillan Garber says consumption of porn. Yeah. I mean, that's everywhere. And here's what pisses me the fuck off about it. I'm all about like porn. Yeah, porn's great. It's fun if you're like actually looking for it and that's what you're actually looking for. But if I'm scrolling on Facebook or Instagram and all of a sudden some fucking dildo or some chick half naked is on there, like, why am I seeing that? It makes me look at, especially if I'm at work or in public and I'm like just scrolling through my shit. The people behind me now think that I'm looking for porn. No, it popped up on my newsfeed because some fucking algorithm fucking decided, hey, this fucking place right here, fucking this chick is showing off her fucking butthole or whatever.
I've had it to where it's like on Instagram, like it'll just pop up and it was like a chick's vagina, but she had her underwear just right to where you couldn't see the innards, but her lips are kind of hanging out and she's like rubbing it and stuff. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it makes me fucking mad because it's like I chose not to see this. And I always select the option of not interested or this is spam and I report it, but you still get more and more of it. And I feel like, especially like Instagram now is starting to push the lines even more than ever. And I don't know what's going on with the algorithms lately. My fucking shit has been shadow banned as far as like when I post things, not very many people are seeing my stuff. And I'm at the point where don't be surprised, guys, if I just disappear off social media.
It's just a waste of
time. I'm getting closer and closer and closer to getting rid of it. And I'll probably still have the band one, obviously, that I have to manage, and the podcast one. But my personal one, I'm just getting so done with it anymore that I care.
Well, mine's getting better. So it used to be, and I don't search anything crazy, but you know how like when you're in Instagram and you hit the search button and it'll show you it'll automatically give you videos you could look at. For the longest time, it was like those types of videos. And I'm like, I'm not even asking for that. Finally, now, as I look at it, it's all going to flowers and gardening and stuff. But it's like it throws in some of these like fucking singers like Sarah Carpenter and all that, or not Sarah, or whoever.
Well, even the singers are all like half naked too. So it's like, do you really want to see that?
Yeah. See, right now it looks like it's getting better, but it's just like, what the fuck? It used to be like half naked chicks like grinding their vagina in the camera, and I'm like, what?
I feel like the trend too now that a lot of them are doing is like they're talking about a subject, but they're being very suggestive with what they're wearing and how they're looking and the angles of certain things.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, you're talking about this, but you're really getting views for it because you're like accidentally showing a little bit more of your chest or a little bit more up your leg while you're sitting there with your legs kind of open with short shorts and shit like that. So I agree. If I want porn, I'll go look for it. I don't need to see it on my social media.
Right.
Who looks at social media for porn anyways? Like, what the fuck? There's Pornhub. Go to fucking the Pizza Hut.
The Pizza Hut.
Isn't that what you had yours labeled as?
I don't watch porn.
Oh, of course. Of course not. All right. The next one comes in from Christopher Gorlitz, and he says, definitely social media. At first, it was great with MySpace, but when Facebook got popular, when it started going downhill massively.
I agree.
Agreed.
Oh, I miss MySpace.
I'm fucking done with social media. I hate it.
I am too.
I hate it. I'm posting less and less, and I'm just like, the algorithms suck balls, and you're fucking with me because who knows what you're wanting me to push. I'm not going to push. And then they have those ones where like you can go see what isn't being pushed, and they suggest you just start pushing that kind of content because then you'll get more views. I'm not going to go push something that I don't believe in or what. Like, let me just post myself. People that follow me are interested in whatever it is that I'm posting. Let me just post what I want and let them see it.
It's just it's all a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Greg Fuller says alcohol, which that's another one. Peggy Knott says skinny equals healthy. Not true at all.
Oh, I agree with this because there's so many, especially celebrities in general right now. Like, I mean, male and female, obviously a lot of female because it always is, are like skeleton skinny. And then they'll be on the red carpet all dressed up and everyone's like, yeah, you look so great, body goals. And it's like, no, you look like you have anorexia. Like they're just skin and bones. They barely have any muscle. And it's like, no, that's not healthy.
No.
They have a disorder.
Don't mistake it for shaming either.
Yes, don't shame.
No,
but
I'm not saying, I'm just saying, like, that's not shaming. It's being like, okay,
Yeah.
realistic. Like, that's not healthy. You're going to go
It's
down a path that
not.
you're going to later, 10 years from now, if
'Cause
you're
that's
still alive, you're going to be
unrealistic.
talking about like this horrible moment when.
Think about it. Like, this is just how fucked it is. It's like, remember, like a couple years ago, it was like pro big girls, like big bodies. Yeah, you're beautiful too. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. But now it's like going back to glorifying like the heroin chic.
Yeah, that's
Like-
gross. I've seen people that I've known that have gone down that path of just like getting super, super overly skinny. And it's sad.
Mhm.
It's sad to see because they don't look recognizable.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you look so much better when you were healthy looking.
Yeah.
And it's just sad to see that society, social media, all that kind of shit can get people to go like, it's kind of like they pull you one way, then you go that
Yeah.
direction, and then they try to pull you the other way. And it's like, then you get lost and like you don't realize who you are, what you are. And it's,
Well, yeah, and then like people start saying, "Oh, they're on Ozempic," which maybe, but that's what sucks is because GLPs, in my opinion, just because I've been on tirzepatide, compounded tirzepatide for 3 years, I've lost over 60 pounds. I feel fabulous. I think I look the best that I've ever looked. But can you abuse that stuff? Absolutely. So it's just unfortunate that something that's made for good can be taken too far, just like anything. I don't know.
yep. Last one came in from Bruised Wayne, and he said constant comparison.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you're comparing your life to other people's lives that you see on these Insta Reels. I think John kind of mentioned that too. It's like people are just showing you what they want you to see.
Absolutely.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I try to show a little bit of everything. Like, I don't glorify everything that I say or do. Like, sometimes I just, like, I'm in the mood. And I'm like, fucking, I'm going to post this. And it's not that I'm glorifying it. It's just that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I think that there's these people that like to post like their fucking fancy ass cars. Now they're traveling to Japan.
Yeah. It's like,
They're out in another country in Australia, and it's like you don't really live like that. Like,
No.
and then you make people think that that's like a normality, and it's not. With that said, I think that's all the comments. So I'll let you this time
Oh,
say yours.
hey. Well, I mean, there's just so much really to hone in on one.
Give us the top 3 or 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with so many of what all of you have commented. I think alcohol is a big one for sure. All that stuff, work culture, a constant comparison. My big one I do want to go into, and maybe just as being a woman, especially at 41, something that I don't want to, again, you do you. I don't want to ever like dog a woman for trying to feel good, but something that is worrisome to me is Botox culture. Botox, fillers. Don't get me wrong. I've had my lips filled. It's been 3 years because I have no upper lip. So whatever. But I just get so concerned when women are like, oh, Botox, filler, because then you start making your, not necessarily Botox per se, but especially the fillers, like the face fillers. That's changing the shape of your face. I mean, and even just from doing my lips, I've done it twice. It does something to you, or at least it did to me, where I was like, it's kind of like when you get a tattoo and you're like, I want more, I want more, I want more. It's kind of the same in the aesthetics world. It's like doing that, and I was like, oh, I need to get Botox now, or I should get filler here, or oh, I need Kybella under my chin to get rid of my turkey neck, or my eyes are sunken, so now I need PRF to try to fill those up and make it not look so sunken and hollow, which is just part of my genetics on both sides of my family. Our eyes just do that, especially when you lose weight. So it can just get down a vicious cycle. And it's like, can we just, again, I'm all for women feeling good about themselves, but I just worry that this can be so toxic. Like, I don't know. We should age gracefully and be so blessed that we are aging and get to be here and grow old. Like, let's embrace it. I'm not saying don't ever do anything, but it's like, don't let it be too much, because I see even celebrities, like, who was it? It was Nikki Glaser, the comedian. She's done so much filler to her face, and she was always a pretty girl. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because now it just looks so altered, and you can tell she has it all done, and it's like your face doesn't even look the same, and it just hurts. Like, it makes me sad that women are so insecure that they do all this stuff that really like fucks up their face.
The crazy thing is that later in life, though, too, it's going to be abnormal to look normal, to age.
Yeah.
And those people, those girls, those women that are not all modified and shit,
Yeah.
that's what guys are going to desire. That's what people are going to desire. That's what's going to be real beauty. The other ones that are all coming down from all this Botox and all this crazy shit that they've done to themselves, it's going to look really foreign.
Yeah.
It's going to look disgusting. They're going to hate themselves even
And
more.
what
And
is
who knows
it
what that's going
doing
to lead
to our
to
bodies
mentally.
So, I mean, even with my lips, I do worry about that. I'm like, how is this going to affect my health later on? But let's embrace the gray hair. Let's embrace the lines. You have laugh lines for a reason. You've had a good life, I hope, and you've had so many moments where you were laughing or you're laughing all the time. Let's embrace aging naturally. You're beautiful. It is beautiful. And everybody's just looking the same. Let's stop.
Well, I don't get that at all.
Let's stop. Be you. Age how you are supposed to age.
Why does everyone want to look like, for example, Kim Kardashian? Why would you want to look like somebody else?
I don't.
Embarrassing.
And I agree. I'm like, sure, she's beautiful in her own way, but I don't know. I've just never been in that mindset where I want to be somebody else. Like, I want to be me. Like, yes, I do buy good skincare and that type of stuff because I don't want to look like I'm 80 at 41, right? But it's like, I don't know. I just worry about where this whole filler culture is going. I have noticed, though, luckily, but there's trends. It's whatever's pushed on social media. Because remember, there for the longest time, it was lips, 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 and people were just blowing their lips up too much. But now I feel like that's kind of reduced and has slimmed down a lot. So, I mean, people are still getting their lips done, but more natural looking, which is awesome. But who knows? Maybe that big pillow lip look will come back. I hope not, because it looks like it hurts.
Yeah.
But it's like, just embrace being you. We're all beautiful in our own way. We shouldn't have to want to look like somebody else. You need to love you. But I don't know. That's my preach.
I 100% back that all.
Let's just, you're beautiful. Just be you. Just age how you were meant to age. So love yourself. Hug yourself. Your turn.
Well, mine's going to be very similar to what I mentioned about earlier, like that many people said on here. It's going to be alcohol. We've normalized alcohol so much, and it's like, why? If I'm going to go to an event, why do and I'm going to hang out with friends that I love. I'm going to go see this band that I love. I'm going to go to a sporting event that I love. I'm going to hang out with the people that I want to see and be around. Why do I need to go that extra mile and put something that's going to make me drunk or make me high to enjoy it more?
Yeah.
It's just, and I'm going to probably forget it. Who knows? Or not be all there. They're not going to get 100% of me and who I am. They're going to get a version of me that's intoxicated. Like, I don't understand why people, I mean, I guess I do understand because I used to do it. But then when I look back now, hindsight's 2020, it doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like anywhere that I go now with anybody that uses or drinks or whatever, it's like anything that whenever we're hanging out, alcohol always has to be involved in it. We have to go pre-funk. You have to go drink beers in the car. You have to go get drinks once you first get in and walk in the doors. And it's like, why? Like, why can't you just enjoy the show sober? What makes you feel like you have to constantly drink something or have an adult beverage or whatever the hell? Like, to each their own. But like I said earlier, I think a lot more people have issues that they will not admit to and will not recognize. I know some people will say, well, it's just an after work joint or an after work beer. Well, that's every day and you need it, obviously, because if you didn't, you'd be in a bad mood. It shifts how you treat people. So I would just say alcohol, weed, drugs in general, cigarettes, vaping, that kind of stuff. It's normalized and it shouldn't be. How about normalizing being sober and enjoying the moment, feeling everything, clear-minded? Dude, here's the thing. And this is why I love talking about my sobriety so much, is because I always tell people, I'm like, there's a big difference between someone that doesn't drink and someone that does drink. And it doesn't have to be someone that drinks every day. It could be just someone that drinks on the weekends or drinks every other day or has a couple of drinks every day, whatever your case may be. Your brain's not at 100%. It's not. There's after effects of alcohol and you're doing damage to yourself. And if you smoke, obviously that too, you're slowing down your brain cells. There's a big difference between someone that doesn't, because that person is now on their right state of mind. And it takes a while. Like, it's taken me years, like I said earlier, to finally start feeling emotions. So everything that I feel, everything that I think, everything that I'm at my 100% best that I can possibly be, under no intoxicants, no alcohol, no weed, no drugs, no nothing. And I can't describe the feeling, but anyone that's been there, that's drugged, that's alcoholed and all that, and is now clean and sober, can vouch for me when I say this, that you get these feelings and emotions that it's almost like a second lease on life. Like, I feel everything more intensified now, and I enjoy it.
Really
and feelings I never felt before. Yes, because I masked it. So I get to enjoy everything now with a whole different lens. And even if someone was to go, like, let's say they go to a show or an event and they're sober, Yeah, you're going to experience it differently, obviously, versus you being drunk, but you still have that brain fog of using and drinking and what have you until you've gone some time without it. So I feel like that's almost a superpower to me, is to be able to say that I'm fucking clear headed. It's taken some time for everything to leave my system and for my brain to recover and my clarity and my appreciation for things. But I feel like it's a superpower that I have within me now, and I fucking love that. I love that being sober now, all the benefits of it, including the fact that I am the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And I was not able to say that when I was drinking, even when I wasn't drunk, but I was still like on, like when I would drink, like if like I was whatever, wasn't the best version of myself. I had that brain fog. I had the chemical dependency and all that shit. So I would say drinking is my one that I'm going to bring up here. And then the second one's going to be social media. Yeah. And like I said, I'm so done with social media anymore that don't be surprised. It's probably going to happen sooner than you think before I just say, fuck these things and take a long, long, long break.
I think I'm going to close my Facebook.
I've thought about closing mine too, but everything I'm just over, because I feel like I'm spending too much time focusing on what can I post or what. And it's like, that's not healthy either. I like to promote the band, and that's about it. Like everything else is just for me now and being selfish with it. So with that being said, this week's guest is Krista. And she shares a very, very good story about her life and hard-fought battle with addiction and fighting against abusive relationships. And it really, like, just when she was telling me her story, it really affected me in the sense that I just kind of like, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe you went through that. Like, and it kind of triggered the sense in me that made me angry for those dudes that were in her life. I don't know Krista, but the fact that these guys were okay with beating a woman that supposedly they loved, or beating a woman in general, makes me fucking mad. Like, what kind of man are you if you put your hands on a woman? Like, if you don't love someone or you're angry at them or whatever, go take a fucking walk. Don't be with them. Get the hell away. Whatever you got to do. But putting your hands on a woman, man, you're a fucking piece of shit. You're a pussy, and you deserve to get beat down by a man. Or if that woman can beat your ass, fucking you deserve that. Absolutely. And there's women out there that can do it. So it's a really, on anybody, regardless. Yeah. Don't be putting your hands on anybody. If you put your hands on somebody, you deserve to get your ass beat back.
Well, and that's how I feel. I mean, everybody probably heard my past with my ex-husband and whatnot, but I feel too, like, it's not just on men. Like, I feel like it's on women too. Like, if you're going to sit there, just because there's toxic girls too, if you're going to be one of those chicks that's sitting there trying to just punch on a man or whatever, and he punches you back, I mean, you're not right.
You're not right. They're not right either, though. I don't think
both aren't right. But I'm just saying, if you're going to sit here and try to be a tough woman that's like just for no reason, or to be toxic or abusive themselves, if you're in self-defense, that's another thing, right? But I mean, we've all seen those chicks where it's just like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And they just start swinging at a dude because they want them to swing back. I think you deserve to be hit too. And you're both in the wrong, yes, but you're definitely in the wrong because you need to chill the fuck out. Nobody should be hitting anybody. But if you're going to act like you're a big badass, swinging, you get fucking popped. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to feel bad for you.
Yeah. So Krista does share her story here. I encourage you all to take a listen. Great conversation with her. And just, it's awesome to see that she has overcome a lot of things in her life like that. And like I told her, very inspirational to hear her talk and tell her story and see where she's at right now. So please stay tuned for segment 2 with my guest, Krista. Hello, everyone, and welcome to segment 2 of the Liquid Shape podcast. Today, my guest is Krista. Hello, Krista.
Hi.
I'm excited to have you here, Krista. I know that we were talking for a bit to try to get you on here, and I'm glad that we're able to make this work out. And I know that you've been on other podcasts, so I'm excited to have you as my guest here and for our audience to learn all about you and some of the things you've overcome and the challenges that have come across your way. So go ahead and tell the audience a bit about yourself.
Thanks, Cody. Thank you so much for having me on. Yes, so I am Krista, and I am a domestic violence survivor, and I am in recovery. I've been in recovery since January 13th of 2023. I originally got clean and sober January 12th, 2010, but unfortunately, I was not able to keep that date. But I'll go into that more later. I think the The big thing that I really wanted to focus on was the fact that I was in a domestic violence relationship not once, but twice. And I mentioned that because I was so brainwashed that I truly believed that I would always find these men because it was me. I thought that I was attracting this kind of behavior because I wasn't pretty enough, or I didn't cook well enough, or I didn't clean well enough, or I didn't show them the respect that they needed. And it took me a really long time to retrain my brain and realize that I did not deserve to be treated that way, that I was a victim. Because for the longest time, I thought, like, he wouldn't hit me if I just did this, or he wouldn't treat me like that if I just did this. And I truly thought that they loved me, but I was just so hard to be around or so hard to handle. And I would upset them so much, and they were so passionate that they would become violent because that's how it was. And I always get hit with, well, why didn't you just leave?
Easier said
Anyone
than
who
done, probably.
Yes. So I always look and I say it didn't start out like with violence. Like at first they were very affectionate, they were loving. I was the most important person in the room. They made me feel like I was the most beautiful person, and they like smothered me, right? Later, I realized that that's like love bombing, but they would make me feel so important and so valued. And they would like get me gifts or just give me all this attention. And they made me really feel special, right? And then I think it was like the first time we were at a party and some guy was talking to me. And I remember going out into the hall and I was drinking, and the guy that I was dating put his hands around my neck and held me against the wall and said, "If you ever try to make me jealous again, that'll be the last thing you do." And I remember thinking, like,
Oh my goodness.
I don't think this is normal.
Was it from 0 to 100 how that change happened, or were there little, maybe some red flags that you kind of ignored before it got to that point? Or was it just all of a sudden, boom, like you have him up, like holding you up against the wall, threatening you like that?
I think that was the big red flag, like the first one. And then I was like, this isn't normal, right? So I went on, did my thing, and I was drinking. I got a little crazy when I drank. And the next day he was super apologetic. I remember he wrote me like this 3-page letter telling me, "I only got upset because I really see a future with you, and you're so important to me, and I really want to make this work, and I'm sorry I got so jealous," right? And so then I was like, okay, no harm, no foul. It was fine, whatever. But then I remember I like cut tomatoes and I didn't use a serrated knife. And so the juice from the tomatoes got on the cutting board. And I remember he smacked the knife out of my hand and was like, "You're so dumb. You have to use a specific knife. I can't believe you don't know that. Like every woman
Oh
knows
my
that."
goodness.
And I was like, I didn't know that.
Wow.
But it was
Yeah,
always,
oh my goodness.
it was, and looking back, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that I stayed, right? But in the moment, I was 20 years old. It was like, yeah, it was very foreign to me. Like I had never been in this kind of situation before. And I marked it off as, oh, well, he's just passionate, or he gets upset when he's drinking, right? But he's not like this when he's sober. So I would always make these excuses, right? And it was always, well, I'm sure he's not always like this. And I just kind of let these little things slide, right? Well, then they started to turn into big things and bigger things. And I remember towards the end, because we were together for a little over a year, I remember I had 2 black eyes. I had broken my ribs
Oh my
like
God.
a half a dozen times because he was punching me. I was in the emergency room. I would tell them stories like, oh, I was playing basketball and I went up for a layup and she elbowed me and she must have cracked my ribs, right? And they all knew. This wasn't new to them. They just said, if I want help, there's a number. But I don't think they push it too much, just because if the person's not ready, they're not going to leave. And I wasn't ready at the
Yeah.
time. Unfortunately, I thought that I could make it work, and I thought that I could change, that I could be this perfect person. But the truth was I was never going to be perfect because this person had like his own anger issues. And when I finally left, I realized like, okay, I need help. And that's when I first got into the rooms of recovery. And not too shortly in, I think I had 90 days, I met the father of my children. And I was actually going to try to join the Navy. I wanted to be like a Navy corpsman. And I remember telling my recruiter, like, I can't go. I met the love of my life. And he's like, I'll see you in 2 weeks. And I never went back. And we got married and things were okay. I got pregnant shortly after. I was able to have a pregnancy, no drinking, no drugging. Like, I really felt like my fairy tale ending was happening, right?
Yeah.
And it was for a minute. It was really good. But then he started drinking a lot. He had a traumatic brain injury from when he was drinking. He actually spent 2 weeks in a coma. And so before we even got together, I knew that he had issues, but he was always on medication because of it. But his like temporal lobe was permanently damaged from being in a coma, and he just never fully recovered. Even to this day, like he's in and out of jail. He's until he addresses it, like I don't know. But he started drinking and things started to happen. And I remember my dad would have to come and intervene and take me and my son away because he would get violent. And it got bad enough after my second child that CPS got involved and we were forced to split. It was the best thing that could have ever happened. In the moment, it was awful, but it gave me a chance to focus on myself and to do some therapy and realize that there was no fixing this. I thought maybe I could fix the relationship and my kids could have both their parents present. And I realized that to have one solid parent is better than having two half parents. And so I've tackled motherhood as a single mom. It has its good days and bad days. My son is 15 and he's testing the waters with his substance use. And so that can be difficult for me to navigate, but I have a lot of support and I'm grateful for that. But getting back to when CPS came in, I was forced to go to therapy and do trauma work. And at first I thought that it was bogus and I didn't think that it was going to change anything, but I gave it a chance and I was open-minded. And I am truly grateful for the counselors that I had that saw in me what I could not see in myself because I was so broken and ashamed of who I had become. Like on the surface, I could fake it and I could tell you that I loved myself, that I believed in myself, that this wasn't the end, that things were going to get better. But deep down inside, I felt like shit because I
Yeah.
had been told that I was for so long. And so those women that took me in and gave me that extra one-on-one attention, like I owe them my life. I keep in contact with one. She has over 40 years in the rooms. And I tell her all the time, I say, thank you so much. You saved my life. Like none of this would be possible if you hadn't done what you did for me. And now I just want to give back and help women because I remember feeling that I truly deserved it or that it wasn't going to get better, that I was always going to attract narcissists and abusers. Like I was always going to, like I thought I was just damaged. Like this is what I get. And this is what I deserve. Like I'll never get better because that was drilled into me. Like, you'll never do better than me. You're always going to be miserable. Like, nobody can handle you. You're out of control, all these things. And it's taken a lot of work. But today I can say that I'm not in a relationship like that I don't feel that way. It's not perfect by any means. Like I said, I'm struggling with my son, but it's truly beautiful today with all the storms and the pain. It's nice to not feel like I need to look over my shoulder or flinch every time someone raises their voice or raises their hand. For the longest time, I couldn't look men in the eye. If you raised your voice around me, I would cower and run because I knew it. I was going to get hit at some point, and
I
I
got
would have.
I witnessed my mom get beat from my dad, and I remember one time I talked about it on the podcast, but I had to grab a pen when I was like 7 years old and stab him in the back to get him off my mom because he was choking her. So hearing you tell this is just, it kind of gives me flashbacks, and it angers me to think that there's men out there that do this. And abuse is one of those things that, it's not just men. Men get abused by women too, but mostly what you hear about is the men that do this to women. And to me, it's such a coward thing to do. And I'm glad that you were able to get out of that. Going back to the first person that you were with that was like that, how did you get out of that relationship, or how did that end where you were able to get away?
So my dad actually gave me an ultimatum. I'll never forget. It was Father's Day 2008. The weekend before that, we had gone to Reno to try to make things work because I had left him. I left him a lot, but I would always come back. But we went up to Reno, and I don't remember exactly what happened. I know that I drank way too much. Way too much. And whatever, I remember bits and pieces. I remember he had me on the counter in the hotel room, and he was smashing my head against the mirror.
Oh my
And then I
God.
must have blacked out because then I remember being at the base of the toilet, and he was kicking my ribs in, and his friend came in and said, "You're going to kill her. You need to stop." And that's all I really remember. And I remember they took me and they dropped me off at a gas station. And I called my uncle because I didn't want to call my dad on Father's Day. And I called my uncle and I said, "I need to go to the emergency room. Can you pick me up?" And he did. And he was like, "You need to call your dad." And I didn't want to. I'm crying. I've got 2 black eyes. I've got busted ribs, a broken collarbone. And I guess he called my dad because I'm in the hospital. And my dad comes in and he looks at me and he says, "If you're not done, then I am. I cannot see my daughter in this condition anymore." And it was hard. It was one of the hardest. Still, like, me and my dad are good. Like, we see each other on a regular basis. He's very present in my life, but I still have this hurt because I'm like, I can't, as a mom, I can't imagine what it was like for my dad to come and see me in a hospital room in that state.
Yeah.
And I'll never fully like I can't like I forgive myself, but I don't because I'm just like it. Like I always like it just sticks out, right? That I'll
Yeah.
never forget that. And that was the last time. Is he's basically told me, "If you go back to him, like I'm done because he's going to kill you, and I can't see you kill yourself. Like you have to stop." And that was it. And it was hard.
I bet. I, I get the vision or the visual of what you were just telling me, and it's just so hard to believe that someone could be out there doing that to someone that they claim they love, or just doing it to a person in general, like especially someone that they have a history with and all that. Now, you did say that the major red flag was that first time that at that party that he had gotten all jealous. Was there previous things that showed that he had a little bit of jealousy, or previous things that maybe you kind of ignored because you just thought like whatever, that potentially showed signs that he was a jealous or controlling person? Was he like that with his friends, as far as like a control freak, or anger issues that you had noticed before prior to that incident that maybe looking back you're like, oh yeah, that was kind of the signs were kind of there? I'm just trying to see like if there was any signs that potentially other people could say like, oh, I know someone that's kind of like that, and like just to like keep open eyes out there if some of these traits are similar, that people can be aware of.
Right. Yes, he was always kind of a hothead. He would get in fights like at the bar or at the club. I remember one time I wasn't even there. I had met up with him later, and he was like, "I need to go to the emergency room." His hand was all busted up. He had gotten into a fight with somebody at the bar and bailed before the cops could get there. And so he was definitely like the person. But I always thought that being this young girl, I'm like, oh, he's a protector, right? Like he'll never make sure anything bad happens to me. But then I became the victim of that. I always made excuses. Always. I was like, this person must have said something to him and it upset him, or he was drinking too much, or he's just really passionate. Like I didn't want to see those flags as red, and I would always try to paint them green. But yeah, looking back, there were definite warning signs that I could see. I didn't want to see them. I wanted to ignore
Yeah.
them because when it was great, it was great. He was affectionate and loving and so sweet, and he'd open the door for me, or like he was such a gentleman at times. And so I was like, oh, he really loves me. I had done like some cocaine, and I had partied for like a weekend, didn't really eat anything. And I remember he like forced me to smoke a blunt so that I would eat. And I was like, see, he does love me. And like, I think back to
Wow.
that and I'm like, God, I was so delusional. But I was like, oh, he loves me because
Yeah.
he wants me to eat. So he makes sure that I smoke weed so that I eat, and just crazy things like that. Where I'm like, wow, I was really in
Was
denial.
he someone that was always like drinking or doing drugs or something? Like, was he like a constant partier, someone that was just always
Yeah,
had to
he
have some sort of
wasn't
substance in them?
sober very often. I don't think either one of us were, honestly. It was like the peak of my
And
addiction.
you said you were 19 years old around this time frame?
Yeah, teen 20. Because I remember I
How old
turned
was he?
21 with him. He was 22 when I met him.
That's a rough age. It's a rough age for everyone. You know, you start getting to be 21 and you get excited. I remember those were my partying days for sure. I was partying a lot, and so was an ex-girlfriend that I was dating at the time. And I think the partying just really further separated us and caused us to have drama, unnecessary drama because of the partying. And so when you mix drugs and alcohol in a relationship, it's just a matter of time before you start seeing the ugly in a person. Would you say that that's changed kind of how you look at others? Like when you start seeing things, when you meet a new person, whether you're dating them or you're friends with them or someone at work or just something where you kind of look out for like these anger issues or these controlling issues or that kind, like has it changed the way you look at people now to kind of try to avoid people like that or just kind of be more aware of them from being around someone like this?
Absolutely. My self-respect and my self-worth it's actually there now.
Good.
It's funny that you say that because I just like very recently had to hit the brakes with a person that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And we just want different things, and we're at two different places. And we just had to pump the brakes on that. And usually this would be when it's like, well, fuck, like my life is over. I'm going to go get loaded, or I'm going to go find some new guy because you clearly don't value me. So I'm going to go show you that you're the asshole, that I'm okay. And today I'm just like, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. It hurts. But I'm like, it's okay because like everything in my life today is just a bonus. God wakes me up and my car is a bonus. Like these are things that can be taken from me at any time. They're gifts from Him, right?
Yeah.
And so this person was there for a moment. And who knows? But it doesn't have to be this dramatic end of the world, because I know at the end of the day, like God's got my back no matter what,
Yeah.
whether it's with this person or with another person, or whether I'm alone for the next 5-10 years. Like God's gonna take care of me. And it's a really weird, it's like I said, of course it's sad, but it doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing. Like I don't have to get loaded. I don't have to find a new him to validate me. Like I'm okay. I've got my boys. I've got a job. I've got a house. I'm okay today. And so it's funny you say that, because I was like, ooh, I wonder how I'm going to do on this. I got hit with some crazy news.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love hearing that. I love hearing you say that. And I know for our listeners out there, I don't know Krista at all. This is our first time actually talking on here, but it makes me happy to hear that and you say that out loud, because yeah, you've gone through some crazy shit, right? You've gone through being beat down and controlled and some really bad things that no one should ever have to go through. But from what I'm hearing out of you is a strong woman and someone that now knows like their value and when to cut things off and when something's not right for them, and you value your peace, you value yourself. And I love hearing that. And I love hearing that you're saying if it's meant to be, it's in God's hands right now. And what will be at the end of the day. You're not forcing something. You're going with it. You're thankful for what you have. And I think that when you live, especially when you're fighting addiction, as someone who's struggled a lot with that, when you wake up and you tell yourself, "What? Hey, I've already made it. I'm alive. I have another day of breath, and everything else that I have in front of me, I can look at it, and it's a blessing. You have your boys, like you said. You have your job. You have a way to get to your job. You have a roof over your head." And people are going to come and go out of your life. That's just a matter of like whether they're relationships, whether they're friendships, whether it's a job or whatever. It's going to come in and out of your life. But I think that it sounds like you're on a good path right now with the mindset that you have of letting it be in God's hands, and not to get religious or anything like that. But I every morning I do wake up and I count my blessings. And that sets the path for the rest of my day. Some person on the road can really piss me off and cut me off. And it's like, do I really want to let that ruin the rest of my day? Or since I just reflected right before, right when I got up from waking up and I started thinking of all the things I'm thankful for today, that kind of set the tone for me where I'm not going to let that little stuff get in the way and ruin my day or ruin my attitude or ruin how I'm interacting with everyone out there.
Right. I know, it's so funny. I always think about that too, because like I used to have serious road rage, and my friend was like, try to look at it the way I look at it. She's like, when people cut me off, I'm like, okay, maybe they're in a hurry or whatever. And she's like, and maybe they're cutting me off because God's protecting me from something up ahead and I need to get slowed down a little bit. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's a good way to look at it. Just to remove that quick anger, I do that whole like, oh, bless your heart. Sometimes I'm the asshole that cuts somebody off, not intentionally. Like sometimes I'm just driving, doing my own thing. I've got thoughts and I've got mom brain. And sometimes I'm the asshole where I have to wave and be like, hey, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't see you there. I'm like trying not to take things personally because I'm not the center of everyone's universe. Like other people have other shit going on. And so trying to just think about it like that, like, and offer a little bit of grace, it makes it a little easier, and my days are better.
100%. And it's like, you never know what that, like you said, that person is going through. Maybe they're in a rush because they just found out that one of their siblings or their mother is like in the hospital or they're died or something, and they're rushing to get to there, or we just don't know what other people are going through that we're passing by. We pass by hundreds of people, whether it's someone at the grocery store or someone on the freeway or whatnot. You just don't know what other people are going through. And you could be the tipping point for them to snap and lose it. And then now they go and do something crazy. Or you could also be that person that shows them that people aren't that bad, and even a friendly smile or a hello, or let them go in front of you and not make a big deal out of it could bring them back down and calm them down, or make them not think that the world is full of assholes.
Right.
But
no, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, life is all about how you look at it. And I think that, it really does suck hearing that you went through everything you went through, but I think it's made a very strong person out of you. And I feel like you're someone that can just conquer some shit down. And like your boys hopefully are seeing that, and they know your story, and you sharing your story like this gives hope to other people that, I know that I've seen a lot of craziness happen with my own family. And that's kind of what drives me, like with seeing my mom get beat and her having 3 jobs to raise my brother and I, and to make sure that was able to provide for us when my dad couldn't, and watching my grandma raise 9 kids, or have 9 kids by herself and raise them all. Like all that kind of stuff is like inspirational for me. And it's like, if they could do that, why the hell can't I get up and get stuff done and push forward and make my dreams happen? And when life throws barriers in my way, I think it's almost like, this is just to test how bad or how strong you are and how bad you want something, or for you to get through it so you can show others that it can be done. So I think that hopefully your boys know the story, if they're old enough to know and have seen what you've gone through, to have mom be a huge inspiration for them to conquer anything that comes across their life. You said that you had one son that was struggling with addiction. Like, is it with drinking or drugs or?
So from what he tells me, he refuses to drink because his dad's an alcoholic. He smokes weed, and I was like, okay, I didn't want to be that parent that came down really hard, because I knew that when my parents came down really hard on me, I just did it more. And so I rebelled more, right? I wanted to sneak out of the house. I wanted to be independent. And so I tried to say, okay, if you're going to do it, don't give me a reason to come down, like stay on top of your studies. Don't get in trouble at school, and always tell me the truth, right? Those
Yeah.
were the rules.
Yep.
Don't do it at home around, because he has a younger brother who's 9. So don't do it in my home. And I thought we were good. But I've been finding out that he's been sneaking out of my house, that him and his friends borrow their parents' cars and they go joyriding, and and I was like, okay, this is where it's not okay.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you look at these like high school years, and this is all you see. I'm like, but I'm looking at the next 30 years for you, and I'm trying to raise you to be a good man. I said, and right now you're not there. I'm like, and so I've had to come down on him a little bit. Like, he's on independent study. He's not going to school. I had to take his phone away and like really monitor. And I told him, I said, I can't trust you. And it's been really hard. And, I was out in Texas for my uncle's funeral this past weekend, and me and my uncle were so close. We were so close. He had 38 years in the program, and we talked on a regular basis, and we were just like, we didn't see each other all the time, but we were just bonded.
Yeah.
And when he passed away from cancer, and he was such a savage. Like, he refused to take opiates because of the pain, because he wanted to be present and cherish, like enjoy every last minute he had with his grandchildren. And I remember him telling me, he's like, Mija, I can't do the opiates because I'm sleepy, and I don't want to miss anything. And I was like, if you can do it, do it. I said, but don't torture yourself, or don't put yourself in pain just because. I'm like, you can every once in a while, if you need to, like, you need to. And he was a trooper until the freaking end. And it was really hard. So I went out there, and I get a call that my son snuck out. And I was like, seriously? So I came back from Texas, and he's like, okay, mom, let's talk. And I was like, I'm not ready to talk. Like, I'm not going to say anything nice. And he's like, no, let's talk. And I'm like, okay, here it is. Like, I'm incredibly disappointed. I'm like, you hurt my heart when you lie to me. I said, you're not a loser, but you're making loser decisions. And he's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, Joe, you're sneaking out. You're lying. Like, you're not being honest with me, and you want to go and party and be doing these cool things. I'm like, all you have to do is talk to me and ask. And I said, I'm disappointed. I can't trust you. And I just don't have, I'm trying really hard to find the care in the fight, because it's hard for me to fight for somebody who doesn't want to fight for themselves. And he took that really hard. And so he's actually been putting in an effort, and I don't want to get my hopes up, because this is his pattern. But I'm going to continue to just love him through it and offer him resources. I know, like you said, you saw a lot. I know that he saw a lot of that, because he was like 7 or 8 years old when me and his dad split. So he saw a lot of it. And that was one of the things that CPS got involved with, because he was trying to grab his dad, off of me. And he pushed him, and he like cut his arm. And it wasn't bad or anything, but because he had a mark on him, CPS was like, they had to intervene.
Yeah.
But I remember him trying to protect me. And so I know that he's got some trauma from that. And I know for me, like, I didn't want to deal with feelings. That's why I drank and used. Like, I didn't want to feel sadness. I didn't want to feel guilt and shame. I didn't want to feel any of that. Like, I just wanted to check the fuck out. And that's why I drank and used like I did. because I was a fucking runner. I ran from everything. And I see that in him. And so I keep telling him, I'm like, you're only like putting a band-aid. I'm like, you're not, these problems are going to get worse. They're not going to go away until you address them. I said, it's a lot easier to address them as they come rather than letting them pile up, because then you have this huge mountain of emotions and shit that you've got to work through. I'm like, take it from me, because I had 10 years that I just stuffed and avoided, but it was just waiting for me when I got into recovery. Like, I had to
Yeah.
address it. And so I'm trying. It's hard. Someone who's in recovery, and it's like, I see where he's going. Like, I see all the heartache and the destruction and the despair, and I see all that for him, but I'm trying to let him find his own path. But it's hard. And I've really been leaning in and praying a lot. It's constant, because I'm like, I know I can't do it. He's got to make the decision for himself. My dad couldn't tell me I was an alcoholic or an addict. Nobody could tell me. I had to realize it for myself. And so I'm trying to, it's different being on this end.
Yeah, I was going to say, first of all, I wanted to say I'm really sorry to hear about your uncle. It really sucks losing someone, a close family member that you're really close to like that. And it sounds like he was a tough, stubborn Mexican, like we tend to be sometimes, like not
Yeah.
taking the medication and all that. Like, that's definitely some shit that I would do. So
Yeah.
I can relate to that, and with my uncles, and my uncles are like that too. So my condolences to you for losing your uncle and someone you were really close to. Just hearing you talk
Thank
about
you.
your son right now, it makes me now feel guilty just thinking about like what I put my mom through when I was 15, because I was smoking weed and I was sneaking out, I was partying, and she kept telling me things like, you don't want to be like your dad, do you? And all this, and like guilt tripping me. And I would think about it, but I think at that age, at 15, we think that we know it all. I think that
Right.
we think like, oh, I just need to get through through high school. I need to be popular and have a lot of friends and all the girls after me, and then I just need to graduate, and once after that, I'm set. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And you think it all in high school. So I'm trying to picture myself at 15 and all those things that I was thinking, and put myself in kind of your son's shoes. And even knowing, like, even though he knows the story about like what he witnessed and what I witnessed with my dad, and not wanting to drink and not wanting to party, because seeing that destroy my dad's life, I still did it because I gave into the pressures of, wanting to be popular, wanting to be liked by everybody, wanting to be invited to parties and included in the social life. Because when you're in high school, you think that that's all that matters, like
Right.
is those things. And it really, you find out later, it's like, none of these people, I'm not going to even remember them a year after I graduate. They're all going to go their separate ways, including myself. And the opinions of others is, as you get older, you care less and you care less and you care less what people think of you. And it's hard for me to put myself in your shoes just because I don't have any kids. So I can't imagine, but I've seen my friends that do have kids struggle with them being now teenagers and them doing things like getting in trouble and drinking or partying or lying and that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, if I had kids, I would probably be this way. But it's like, it's easy for me to say that without having kids, but I'm sure it'd be very different if it was my own kid. And who knows how I actually would be if I actually had kids and I was dealing with this. So have you ever sat down with him and kind of shared the graphic details of some of these things, and as why you don't want him to go down that path, and just had like a serious talk, not like a lecture, but almost kind of like a, how they do in Scared Straight, where they, like the TV show, where they would tell the kids like how they ended up in prison and how they went down this path from just one bad decision that just led to another, to another, to another. Have you ever had that conversation about kind of the stuff that you dealt with between abusive people in your life that you were dating, to using and partying and all that, and kind of how that led to some things that happened?
We've talked, we've had a few heart to hearts. He's kind of in this phase of, well, I know what to avoid. I know where to draw the line.
The know-it-all stage. It's that high school know-it-all
Yes.
stage.
Yeah. And so I've talked to him, and I've told him, like, once you start making like little, once you start like letting little things slide and giving yourself these little permissions, like lines that you'll never cross, right? Like, I was never going to do cocaine because I didn't want to be addicted, right? But then it was just a little permission that I gave myself just to try it. And I hated it. And then I craved it and then I loved it. And like these little permissions, like I would never let someone hit me until I did. And then it was like these little permissions and these little things. And then 10 years later, I'm looking at myself like, where was that? I've completely lost myself, you know?
Yeah.
And I've tried to warn him, like, these little permissions that you start to give yourself turn into big permissions. And
It's like a
then,
snowball effect.
yeah, you start crossing lines that you swore you'd never cross. I'm grateful. I never shot up. Like, I never did heroin. I never did meth, like, because my dad did meth and I was never going to be like my dad. And like, I'm grateful that I didn't go because I see how if I would have crossed that line, who knows if I would be here today. Like I struggled enough with just opiate prescription meds and cocaine and drinking for as long as I did. Who knows? And I remember like when I had my sons, like I would get Dilaudid and they would give me like fentanyl and I was like, man, like if I would have had that on the street, who knows? I probably wouldn't be here to share my story because I was a all in all the time girl. Like I did not have a stop. I wanted to party from the minute I started until I passed out and then I started all over again. And so I'm extremely grateful that I never crossed those lines because I don't think I would be here.
No, that's very true. Once you start messing with those other ones, it's like you just go down this hole that like it just seems like you can never get out of. And I unfortunately have seen a lot of people I grew up with that went down that path and are either in prison or died just from I had a buddy of mine. It hurts to even think about it just because I was so close to him in high school and he was getting on the right path. He was always in and out of like of drugs and alcohol. But just this last run, he had been going for a while and he'd really gotten into being more religious and away from alcohol. And I think just one night he just said, screw it, and decided to just do it one more time. And I think there was fentanyl in whatever it was that he was taking, and they found him dead the next morning. And when I got the news, I couldn't believe it. It's like, this is the guy that's my age that I went to school with. I remember playing music with him, and just to hear that he had been clean for a while he'd been going for a couple of years. And then that one night that he just decided to use, he got a bad batch of something and just passed away on his bed. Like they found him dead the next morning. It's so sad to go so young. I mean, and
Right.
over what, just a quick high. What, at what point were like, cause I think you said you'd been using for a while, then you got sober. And then how long were you sober for? And then how did you go back into using? And at what point were you realizing like, let's talk more about the addiction part and
Yeah.
substance abuse. And like, when did you start seeing it kind of get more and more? And then when did you start noticing that it was becoming a problem? And then when did it go too far? And then let's hear all about that.
I got sober in 2010, like I said, and I had almost 5 years, or I think I had a little over 5 years. My grandfather, again, who I was really close to. It's funny, like I was really close to like these strong men. And I don't know if it's because I had gotten through the abuse and I just clung to these like strong men in my life. But my grandpa was freaking amazing. I'm so grateful for the men I've had in my life and the women, but like I've been blessed with some amazing people, but he got Lou Gehrig's disease. And a man who was like Superman in my eyes just lose his ability to walk, his ability to use his arms. He was a mechanic, like he was just a man's man, right?
Oh,
Like he would see something and then go home and build it with like, welding. And he built these custom rock walkers because we live up in the mountains by the Rubicon. And so they would build like custom Toyotas to drive through the Rubicon with. And he was just amazing. And I slowly watched him fade away. And I remember the night he passed, we went down to go see him, and my son Joe was at soccer practice. And I told my family, I said, okay, I think this is it. I'm going to bring Joey down tomorrow. We're not going to go to school, and I'm going to let him say his goodbyes. And I remember laying in bed, and it was around midnight. I woke up, I sat up, and I looked to my left, and my bathroom was there. And I'm going to try not to get emotional, but I look, and my grandpa's standing right there. And he looks at me, and he smiles, and he walks through the wall, and my phone rings, and I already knew, like, he was gone. Like, he came to say goodbye, and that broke me. And I was able to stay sober for a little while until I made it about me and all the pain I was going through. And I started drinking again. Of course, I would just have a margarita with the girls after work. I wouldn't allow it to be at my house. And then it was, okay, I'm going to do a margarita every night on the weekends after work. And then it was, okay, I'm going to bring Stella Rosa wine. It's not going to be the hard wine. Like, I'm just going to drink this a little bit. And then I started to introduce prescription meds because that was a good idea. And so then I was taking prescription meds while I was drinking. And then it slowly progressed. And then it was, okay, well, I could take 2 pills at once, or I can just chop 4 of them up and snort them. And it was just like it slowly progressed, right? And it took me 7 years to get back. I was able to quit drinking in 2019, but I still was doing opiates. And I finally was able, I was doing that, and it was crazy because there was all these signs. Friends were dying from opiates, right? And they were doing less than me. Like, I was at the point where I was chopping up like 40 a day and
Wow.
snorting them. And my friends were dying, and I was like, okay, I'm really good. And I would make all these little excuses. Well, then my prescription, I couldn't get that anymore because I was showing addict tendencies. So what did I do? I got right back into cocaine. And I remember the last time I did it, I had taken my kids to my parents' house because I told him I had to go meet a coworker. She got into a fight with her boyfriend, and she was afraid he was going to put hands on her, which is true, but it wasn't. Like, she was in a whatever. But I went down there, I did what I did, and I came home, and I remember laying on my bed staring at the ceiling, and I was like, here you are again. You just passed your kids off so that you could get high. Like, when is it going to stop? That woman that I talked about saving my life, I called her that morning and I said, I need help. I need help now because I'm afraid I'm going to die. And she's like, what do you need? How can I help? And she got me into rehab, and I haven't drank or used since. And like I said, that woman saved my life. She got me help because I knew if I didn't stop, I wasn't going to stop until I died, because I tried to self-will. I tried keeping it a secret, or like being a high functioning, like I've tried all the things. And here I was 30 something years old. And I knew like the only way I was going to stop was to die, because I could not do it on my own. And so I'm extremely grateful for her. And I needed more tools. Yeah, I had gotten out of the abusive relationships, and I had found somebody that made me feel alive and valued, and didn't raise his voice with me, didn't get physical. I found this great person. Life was good in some areas, but I still was self-medicating. I don't know if it was the guilt. I don't know what it was. Like, I still couldn't fully function without something, right? And today I have to feel all of that. Like I said, going through a breakup, losing my Tio. I've lost my grandmother, and all these little things that I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it sober, but I have like tools today. I have a support group. I have women that have my back no matter what. I know that I can go to a meeting and cry or talk. I know that I never have to do anything alone. I never have to feel abandoned or unloved or unwanted. Like, I have so many people in my life today that will show up for me and just hold me while I'm crying or love me through whatever pain I'm going through, that will help support me when it comes to the kids, that will just anything. And I've never had that ever. I've always had fair weather friends that were there when the party was going, but it's totally different vibe in recovery. I can have my worst day and show just total defeat. And they're like, okay, well, I love you. Like, let's go to a meeting, or do you need to talk? Do you need to grab a coffee? Just that overwhelming, unconditional love that I've always wanted. And I finally have that today.
That's so awesome, Krista. And you're right. There's those friends that will be there that are always they're ready to go to the bar, they're ready to drink or use drugs. But the minute that shit gets hard and something comes along your way or you need them the most, they're not there. Or like as soon as they find out that you're cleaning up your act and bettering yourself, they stop contacting you, they stop inviting you to things, and it's like, all right, fine. I know those people aren't the real ones in my life. It's the ones that stuck by me through the tough times, the ones that see me through my worst and are there for me when I'm, cleaning up my mess. What would you say, like whenever you get the itch, what do you think helps you the most as far as like, is there something you tell yourself or something you remind yourself of or a place you put yourself when those days are a little bit tougher and you're tempted to use, that help you be like, no, I don't need this. Fuck this. I'm not going to go down that path.
Right. I think it's, the fact that I finally realized that it won't solve anything for me to get loaded. Sure, I might feel good for a second. If you've ever used cocaine, you have like a good 15, 20-minute high.
Yeah.
And then you're just chasing that.
Another one.
You never, yeah. And so it's like it might give me that instant gratification and I might be able to check out for a minute, but like the problem will still be there waiting. Like with my son, like he's still going to be going through this and trying to find himself. So if I get loaded, yeah, I might put a little Band-Aid on it and be okay and not worry about it for a second. But tomorrow, like it'll still be there because I'm not really addressing the problem. So I guess just realizing that it doesn't really solve anything.
Causes more problems if anything. I mean, you're stacking up more. I always noticed that whenever I was partying, no matter what I was trying to bury, like you said, it's still going to be there tomorrow, but that was adding more shit onto it because now I'm getting high, I'm burning bridges with friends, I'm fighting with my significant other, I'm, doing this and doing that, having problems at work. Like it's like whatever my issues are, that's going to be there, but then I'm adding more to it. So it's like, I'm a better person when I'm not on that stuff and I can think clearly, make better decisions, right? Like,
Right.
one of the things I noticed, and I talked about this on one of my recent episodes of the podcast, was that I'm going into 3 years now of sobriety from alcohol, and it'll be 4 years in November from coke and weed and pills and all that other shit.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to you too. Like I love talking to people that are fighting the same fight as I am. It's not an easy battle and everyone's story looks different. Everyone's, what works for some doesn't work for others and vice versa.
Right.
One of the things that I noticed the most about, that I just recently noticed, and I didn't ever even prepare myself for this. I don't know if you were going through this or not, but it took me a long time to finally start feeling emotion. And I am way more emotional now than I've ever been. And I've been partying since I was like 14 or 15, like constant drinking. And then I always told myself, oh, I'll never do weed. Next thing you know, I do weed a couple years later. And then I'm like, I'll never do coke. 10 years later, I did coke. And then I got really into it. And then I'll never do Molly. Started doing Molly and pills and all that. It's like I related to what you were saying, where you just give yourself little permissions, and then eventually it snowballs. But since I was 15, I was loading myself with intoxicants. And at that age, at 15, you don't know, you think it all, but you haven't even experienced a fraction of what life is going to bring to you. And so getting sober at 37, it's taken me 3 years now to finally start feeling emotions again. And no one prepared me for that. I wasn't aware. A lot of these things that I'm feeling now that like will suddenly hit me, I'm like, why did I take that so hard? Or why am I overthinking that? It's because I was always under the influence and always using drugs and alcohol to kind of numb myself and forget about things. And so now I'm fighting not only the addiction, but I'm trying to fight it sober, which makes it like that much more difficult. Would you say that you kind of experienced the same things anytime you got sober, where after a year or two or whatever, you were starting to feel again, so it made things a little bit tougher? Or am I alone in thinking that for myself?
No. Yes, I cry a lot more. I feel a lot more. I think my thing is like I feel energy.
Yeah.
So like I feel that negative energy, that positive energy, right? So I'm like attracted to the positive energy, and I can get really uncomfortable when there's a lot of negative tension and energy.
Oh,
And I've
yeah.
never like I've always had like a little intuition, even in my drinking or using, like this isn't a good person to be hanging out with. Like
Yeah.
probably shouldn't be doing drugs with this person. They're like a weirdo or whatever. Like I've always had like little feelings that kind of protected me, I guess. But like now it's for sure. And I'm a big advocate for prayer and meditation. And because of that, I feel like I feel a lot, and some of it is amazing. Like I experience true joy, like that pure belly laugh where you're crying and laughing and it could be something so stupid, but it's like just
It's
that
real.
pure joy.
It's
Yeah.
real. Like you just gave me goosebumps when you were saying that, because I was just about to say that and you just took the words out of my mouth. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Like
even driving down early in the morning and seeing the sunshine and the cold wind hitting your face, like that is like I've found that there's enjoyment in that, and there's some peace in that, and there's like something that I had not felt ever since, like, for years and years and years and years, and some emotions I'd never even felt my whole life. And
right.
so like there's something about that, there's a happiness to it that I can't describe. And I try to tell my friends, because I try not to get preachy with my friends that do drink and do use whatever. I don't like to be preachy. To each their own. If they do, they do. And I always feel like a lot more people have substance abuse issues that they don't recognize, but they tell themselves constantly. It's like, well, they compare themselves to the worst of the worst, and they're like, well, I don't have a problem because I don't do X, Y, Z. And I always like try to think, I'm
Right.
like, well, you don't have problems. You don't have problems like that, but compare yourself to someone that doesn't use and tell me that you don't have a problem. Like, there's a
Right.
big difference in that. But the emotions that you're talking about, yeah, that laugh and that the smiles and the goofiness and whatnot that comes with it, it's like it's the best feeling ever. It's like it's a different high. I feel like it's a high on life almost is how I
Absolutely.
describe it. Because I'm just, like I said, I'm just thankful to be here and that I made it another day. And then every day of sobriety to me is just another blessing for me, that I'm like, all right, I didn't fuck up. I didn't piss people off. I didn't use today. And here I am sober and all that. So sometimes it is hard though. Like you said, like if like you lose someone in your family, like I haven't, and I'm knocking on wood right now, I
Right.
don't know how I would deal with that right now being sober, because anytime that I've lost people in the past, it's like I deal with it with drinking or drugs and all that. And I know that at some point I'm going to have to face it, that I'm going to lose some people around me. And it's like, how am I going to prevent myself from going down that path? And hopefully I'm strong enough, and I think I am, that I will not choose to go down that path of using and any of that. Are you one of those people that have had to like cut off being around people that drink and all that, or and avoid bars, or have you found strength in not being able to, or self-control and not being tempted when you're around those situations?
I don't get tempted, but I do get very uncomfortable. That's one thing I find myself, I have a little bit more social anxiety. Like once
Yep.
I'm comfortable and I'm like around people, like I can open up and be great. But there is like a social anxiety. I don't know if it's like PTSD, like I'm feeling people out. Like I want to know if someone gets violent, like where do I have to go? Or if something pops off, like I always have like a little escape plan, right? And I'm sure that that'll lessen the more sobriety I get, but I avoid it for the most part. Like I'll go to the casino and I'll be around people that are drinking, and I can tolerate it up until a point when they start to get sloppy. That's when I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I'm out.
Same
Because I'm
here.
like, I see because I know I was like, I thought I was the life of the party, and really I was just a sloppy hot mess. And so I'm like, yeah, this is when I exit.
Yep. I am the same way. I was just telling somebody that the other day. I'm like, as soon as I see people like blabbering or talking my ear off or they're not making sense, I'm like, this conversation's pointless. I'm leaving the party. It's my bedtime
Right.
now.
Yeah. Like I'm like you, I don't preach. I openly talk about my recovery. I've
Does it
had
excite you
people.
to talk about it with people?
It does. I've had some women say, like, I think I might need to leave so and so. Like, I think there's signs of abuse. And what did you do? I've been able to help some women or even like some men. I believe in I try not to work with men because at some point, like, then it becomes like, oh, you might be the one. You kind of
Oh, yeah.
gives weird feelings because when you're newly sober and then you find this person who's sober and, oh, she's great. And
She's
really it's
caring and all
just,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, you've
The
got this
wrong
little
idea.
haze and fog. Like, yeah, it's like, what is that? Like I want to say like Nightingale syndrome or, where you
Yep.
kind of fall in love with the person taking care of you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm
Saving
not
you.
her.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like,
No, I hear that.
so I try to put them with like in touch with men. And
Yep.
but yeah, it's been good. It's kind of like a therapy being able to openly discuss and not have the guilt and shame. Because for the longest time, like I was embarrassed to even say that I was like abused, and like it was the physical, like there was some sexual abuse, like just unwanted. Like I remember my kid's dad there, he said, well, you're my wife, so if I say we're doing it, like we're doing it,
Oh.
and I don't care if you don't want to, like you're doing it, you're my wife, this is your job. And just little things like that, like learning and being able to help women realize, like, you don't have to tolerate that. Like, this is not okay. It is not normal. And if you want help, like, I'm willing to help you. And so being able to shed light on that and remove the guilt and shame, it's been therapeutic and healing. And because I truly believe, like, I am here. I've survived what I've survived so that I could share with others and hopefully help other women escape. And that's my big goal. And some days are hard. Like when we were talking about my TO, I did. I had a moment where I had like a little mini midlife crisis. I was freaking out. And I had to call my cousin who, like, I never knew because my whole growing up he was in and out of prison, and today he's got over 4 years in recovery. And so it was like me, him, and my TO. We were all bonded because we were in recovery. And when my TO passed, I've learned to lean on him a lot. And I remember telling him, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to just take a shot and just check out for a minute because it's getting really heavy. And he's like, you can't do it. And he talked to me for an hour, and it was rough. I'm glad that I didn't act on it. I just went to bed. I woke up the next day, I felt better, but for whatever reason, like it got really heavy in that moment. And that's the one thing I've learned too is feelings are temporary. Like the worst pain that I'm feeling today, like it's going to be less tomorrow. And I know that if I drink or use, it's just going to intensify that pain.
You're going to regret it too. And then the regret and the guilt. Oh my God. Like that's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Have you ever had, I know I've had this happen to me and it sucks. Like I wake up in complete panic, but like where you have a nightmare that you gave in for whatever reason and you drank or you used. And then like, you're just like, you get that feeling of major disappointment, but then luckily you wake up and you're like, oh my God, like it was just a dream, but you still kind of feel like, God, like that was a great realization that that guilt is what I'm going to feel if I actually was to act on it. You ever have
Yeah.
dreams like that, like nightmares like that?
I actually remember having a terrible freaking nightmare that I used and I didn't wake up.
Oh
And my
shit.
kids were trying to wake me and I wasn't waking up, and they didn't know what to do, and I'm just laying there. And I remember waking up and I was like, I couldn't breathe. Like I felt I was like, oh my God. It was the craziest feeling. Like I woke up and I was like I was having a panic attack in my dream because I'm like, wake up, wake up. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, wake up, wake up. Like it was crazy.
Ugh.
And I was like, yep. And that's exactly why I don't fucking use, because
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to wake up. Like that is
Yeah.
a very big reality for me.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I totally, yes. Using dreams. I used to have them. I don't have them as often, but that one was really bad. And that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's like those paralysis dreams, like where you're trying to wake up, but you can't. Like you're like, you can feel yourself kind of trying to move, but you can't move. Like that's the
Yeah.
worst.
It's crazy.
Well, Krista, you're a fucking warrior. I'm just going to say that. Like, just from everything you've told me, we've had a great conversation here. And thank you so much for everything you shared. You are a tough lady, and keep pushing forward, and don't let anything get in the way of your sobriety. Don't let anything get in the way of you fighting. And I hope that our listeners out there that can relate to, whether it's they're dealing with abuse or they're dealing with addiction or both, that your story can help them. And I love that you're out there talking to people about this and you're sharing it. Definitely nothing to be ashamed of. If anything, like I said, you're a fucking warrior. You're a survivor. You're a fighter, and your story can definitely help inspire others that are out there facing similar issues. And I'm thankful that you're willing to come out here and share that with us and with our audience here. Is there anything else that you'd like to say, share, or anything like that before we say goodbye?
I guess just one little thing to leave people with is, if you're listening and you think that it's too hard to leave, starting over is too scary. The idea, because I remember having those fears, is just do it a little bit at a time. There are resources, there are people that can help, and I'm happy to be a resource to anyone if they have questions or are trying to come up with a plan. Um, and just to realize that, like, no dream is too out of reach or too impossible, because I swore that I could never be a single parent, that I could never provide for my kids. And just being able to have like my own house was huge for me. And I have a million other dreams that I'm currently pursuing. And it's all because of that one little choice to abandon the idea of the perfect marriage or of what I thought my life was supposed to look like. And once I did that, I finally realized like the possibilities are endless. So there's hope. And I really hope that people can find that, and it keeps them motivated. And like I said, you never have to do any of this alone. Ever.
I love that. And like you said earlier, you said that you had thankfully a lot of strong men in your life, and that's probably where you got a lot of your inspiration and drive and determination. For me, it was the opposite. I had a lot of strong women in my life that inspired me. And I think it's a beautiful thing that we can find inspiration in either side, in either gender, depending on the strong people that are in your life. And now you're just sharing your story and everything you've told me here, you inspired me. Like, I'll think back on this conversation that we had, and I think it's awesome that you went against the grain and you did what you needed to do, and that you're out here fighting. And I guarantee you that your boys, once they get a little bit older and they start realizing everything that you've done for them and what you've gone through, you're going to be a huge inspiration, probably the biggest inspiration for them, that's going to make them make better decisions in their life and help them drive to reach for their goals and to set up barricades and walls for people that come into their life that want to destroy their peace. So everything you're doing is going to be, I can guarantee that they're going to see that eventually. Us boys, we mature a little bit slower than the ladies. Yeah. Right. But eventually we do see that, because, it took me a while. Like I said, I was a stubborn ass 15-year-old. I can totally picture myself now at 15, like hearing your story about your son. And I'm like, man, I didn't think about all the things that I was damaging, that I was doing to my mom, like having to put up with all this stuff that I was putting her through. Like, I just thought about my popularity, my social life and all that stuff. So I know your son's probably not doing it intentionally, and he's just thinking like a 15-year-old boy would, but eventually he's going to look back and be like, damn, mom was like fighting, and she never gave up. She went through hell and back for us. And he's going to be inspired by that. And so thank you so much for being on here, Krista.
Yes.
Is there a place you mentioned that folks could reach out potentially if they need resources? Is there somewhere that you prefer for them to reach out to you on?
Yeah. So Instagram, my handle is at reborn.resilient. Send me a direct message. And I'm really good. At times it takes me a day or so, but I do respond and I do read all the messages that people send me. And even if it's just to say like, thank you, like I relate, or keep going, even if it's to say, yeah, I think you're full of shit. Whatever, like I like reading, I like hearing from other people, and I'm there to cheer you on because I love when people cheer me on. And so, yeah, on Instagram, I'm Reborn Resilient, and I really connect with my followers on there.
I love that. We'll make sure and have your handle on the description of the show as well, so that way folks can get the proper spelling on it and figure it out. So
perfect.
We'll make sure they find you. And like you said, even if they talk trash, haters just drive the fuel for us to do better, right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you guys all for listening, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the Liquid Shape Podcast. Major shout out to Krista for sharing her story with us.
Thank you.
That is the end of our segment 2 and this week's The Liquid Shape Podcast. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Yeah. Thank you all so much for contributing to the question of the week. We love you guys, and we love hearing from you guys. This is the podcast of the people, for the people.
And it's just a blast.
It's a blast to sit here and hear you guys' thoughts and comment on them and all that. So thank you guys all so much. Huge shout out to our monetary contributors, Mr. Eric Sheets.
Woo!
Woo! And John Wold. Woo! King John, I should say. Sorry. Thank you guys so much for contributing to our podcast here. We appreciate it. Anyone out there that wants to contribute, you can contribute $1 a month, $2, $5, $10, whatever you're able to do. We appreciate it. There's links available so that you can contribute, and it does help us because it does cost us money to run the podcast, upload episodes, obviously time to do these and editing and all that fun stuff. So do appreciate you all, and I hope you guys all have a great week. It's great to be able to post these weekly and hopefully entertaining you guys, educating, inspiring, giving you hope, whatever this podcast brings to you. I hope that it really does something in a beneficial way to you. Please help us keep spreading the word about it, share it, let people know about it. I am always looking for guests. So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, tell your story, share it with everybody. Your story could help save some lives, inspire some people, whatever. Please send an email to theliquidshapepodcast@gmail.com. Let me know a little bit about what you plan to talk about, and let's schedule a time for us to do this remote. And yeah, thank you guys all so much. I hope you have a great week.
Love you. Bye.
Be sure to find us on all social media platforms, follow and subscribe.